Well, the teams are in the tunnel at the Valley, away to the left-hand side, and here they come. Charlton Athletic and Queen's Park Rangers. South East London meets West London tonight. We're in the capital on Talksport 2 to kick off another bumper weekend of championship action. Scott Minto's alongside me. Scott has just done his predictions for a couple of the fans who are sitting right behind us in the main stand. Scott, we are kicking off a minute later than usual tonight, and for very good reason.
Yeah, absolutely. It's for, I was listening to Glenn Hoddle, was it this morning or yesterday morning on the breakfast show, and about obviously how it saved his life with CPR and everything to do with that. And actually, off the back of what happened with Glenn, I made sure I took a course myself as well. And Joe, my memory's not always the best, so I made sure I make notes. I'm not saying that I will save your life, but if something happens, I should know what to do. And I think everybody should go out there and try and do the same thing, because it's quite simply, for the sake of a 20 half of an hour minute lesson, you can save lives.
The CPR courses are so important, and that's why every EFL game is kicking off a minute later than usual this evening, tomorrow afternoon, and across the west of the EFL weekend. Saturday we've got live boxing for you from Liverpool, Nick Bell against Brandon Figueroa, and then on Sunday, Super Bowl 60 live from Santa Clara. It's the New England Patriots against the Seattle Seahawks, live across the Talksport network. Charlton Athletic, big crowd here at the Valley tonight, about 20,000 expected. Attendances are at a 16-year high, but Nathan Jones, Scott, knows he's got a real job on to keep Charlton up. There was talk of the playoffs earlier this season when Charlton began really quickly. Obviously a continuation of that higher promotion last season, but survival is the aim, and it would be a sizable achievement.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I do think Charlton have a really good consortium at the moment, but it's not like they're putting money in the way that Birmingham and Wrexham are. So it was always, for me, Joe, about just trying to survive this season. Now, Charlton Athletic shouldn't have been, and it was only a few seasons ago where I was covering it on Charlton TV. It was almost looked like they could go down to the fourth tier. Charlton Athletic shouldn't even be in the third tier, maybe top end second, maybe bottom of the Premier League. So to come up, the years they've spent in League One, no, for me it was all about just make sure you consolidate, and that's what they're still trying to do. As you say, I was asked a few times when they were even in sixth position earlier in the season. I said, listen, it's not about that, it's just about accumulation of points. And Alan Kirbishley put it really well, actually. He said what's happened has been a correction, and this really is where we would have expected Charlton to be. But you're absolutely right, it was a massive win last week against Leicester, and this is another massive game as well, because they're too close to the relegation zone at the moment.
Oh, the covered end away to the left-hand side, as it's known, is packed out tonight. Away to our right, tremendous noise from the 3,000 travelling Queen's Park Rangers supporters at the Jimmy Seed stand end. Looking up into the distance, you can see nearby blocks of flats. In fact, if you're high enough in those apartment blocks, maybe you can even get a view of some of the pitch as well. But if you couldn't get a ticket, as always, Talksport 2 for the EFL is the best place to be. Quick word on Charlie Kelman against his old club, Scott. How's he feeling tonight?
He'll be bang up for this, let me tell you, Joe. You always are against your former club. And actually, he found it difficult at the beginning of the season at Charlton, but he's starting to do it a little bit better. Yeah, he'll absolutely feel, not a point to prove, but he'll be giving it 101%.
We are off and underway, or are we? A false start. QPR are going to kick us off from right to left in the first half, and the game begins. QPR attacking the home end here at Charlton Athletics Valley Ground, and the ball is tucked behind by Luke Chambers inside the opening few seconds, and QPR have got a corner away on the far side of the field as we look. QPR in the blue and white hooped shirts, white shorts and white socks, and Charlton Athletic in the red shirts, white shorts and red socks. Lots of height in this QPR team, and plenty have come forward for this corner inside the first minute of the game. This is Talksport 2 your home of live and exclusive national radio commentary from the EFL. They're underway at Ellen Road as well. Leeds against Forest will keep you up to date. Corner into the near post, headed away by the first man, Lyndon Dykes. It'll come back out to the QPR right, where the ball is sliced up into the air. Steve Cook was still forward for QPR, cleared away by Charlton's Amari Bell, and Queen's Park Rangers get a throw on the far side at the base of the Alan Kirbishley stand. The floodlights are on, the atmosphere is really cranked up in the minutes leading to kick-off, and a local derby to begin the championship weekend. They've sent plenty forward here, QPR, for this long throw. Jimmy Dunn is up there, the long throw aimed at him, right corner of the penalty area, but Charlton deal with it well enough, and now Cook is on the retreat, facing his own goal, back header, loops towards the goalkeeper Walsh, all in black, and he takes a couple of steps back and is able to claim the ball inside his own penalty area. QPR with a positive start, the team chasing the playoffs, away at the team looking to move further clear of relegation danger, and Scott Minto is alongside me here on Talksport 2. Scott.
Yeah, at the moment QPR, well, first of all, they kind of pinned Charlton back, didn't they, from kick-off, got a corner, then a long throw.
Well, Cody with a shot inside the area, and it's gathered by the goalkeeper. I think there was a foul by Paul Smith on Amari Bell anyway. Smith is just about the smallest player on the field, and it'll be a bit of a concern to Bell that he was nearly outmuscled there, but it was a foul. It is a free kick to Charlton, and even if Kone's shot had gone beyond Kaminski, it wouldn't have counted anyway.
Yeah, that was a David versus Goliath there, wasn't it? But what I'd say is QPR have started well. As I say, that territorially they've got the ball long.
Charlton go long at the other end, but Kelman can't get it under control on the edge of the QPR penalty area, and Koki Sato can dart forward over the halfway line. I remind you of the two sides as Sato dribbles the ball straight out of play. Look at Nathan Jones down below, as he's very animated already, as is always the case for Charlton manager. He kicks every single ball. We are very close to the dugouts here, a steep drop to the touchline below, and we're right behind Julien Stéphan, the French head coach of QPR, and just to the left is the Charlton boss, Nathan Jones. Charlton look for Kelman, header away by Steve Cook. Oh, and then a high boot from Vale on Cody. That'll be a Charlton free kick. Nothing but a talking to, I don't think, here for Harvey Vale, the former Chelsea man. So Charlton have Kaminski in goal, Ramsey, Jones and Bell, Clark, Doherty, Cody and Chambers, Carey in support of Dykes and Kelman, as Cody needs the physio on here in the early stages. A recent signing, Connor Cody from Leicester City, made his debut against his old club last weekend on loan from Wrexham here at Charlton Athletic. Walsh is the QPR goalkeeper, Edwards, Dunn, Cook and Norrington Davis, Hayden and Madsen, Sato, Vale and Smith behind Kone up front. That was a slightly risky challenge, and the referee, now has he actually booked Vale for that challenge? He got the yellow card out, Scott.
Yeah,
I think he has done.
I didn't think he wanted to initially, but maybe he's seen that, and Connor Cody's not a player who would go down unless he's, really been hit hard, so he can probably see a cut. But I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Connor Cody's come to Charlton. He's been well known to be almost one of the three centre-halves in the back three or back five, and yet he's been brought into midfield where you would expect you kind of need legs, but actually last week he had the highest passing accuracy of any player on the pitch. So he's a leader, he talks really well. I think that's what, when you're down there, that's what you need, and if he can just help control games, then that will certainly be very important. But this moment in time, he's still doesn't look like he's getting up.
Charlton attacking the Jimmy Seed end in the first half. That end is full of QPR supporters on their feet behind the goal. Charlton, whose home form really propelled them into the position where they could win promotion via the playoffs last season, beating Leyton Orient in the final. And they've only failed to score in one of their last 24 home league matches. That was a defeat to Leicester way back in August. There is clearly a problem for Cody here, who continues to be treated. He's going to get some bandages around his forehead, those white bandages, and Charlton have sent plenty forward in red and white for this early free kick. It does take some of the early energy and zip out of the game, especially a derby game, this sort of thing. But of course, absolutely right that all of the relevant protocols are followed. You can tell, I think, by the atmosphere, Scott, that these are two teams coming into tonight 0-0 the score, on the back of victories.
Yeah, look, it's a big game for both. Obviously, Charlton are down there, and what they don't want to do is, when you're playing first, is to lose, and then you're sitting there the whole weekend watching teams catching you up. Whereas, of course, if you are playing first and you get that win, then you can really make a statement and put the pressure on other teams around you. And again, we talked about QPR. Look, do I think they will finish in the top six? No, I don't. But if they can find a consistency and come to places like the Valley and get 3 points, then why can't they start believing?
Well, up gets the Wrexham loanee Connor Cody, and he's had to walk off the field. Charlton temporarily down to 10 as Carey hoists the free kick into the penalty area towards Amari Bell with a looping header, and that's going to drift well wide of goal. Joe Walsh, the QPR goalkeeper, young goalkeeper, 23 years of age, making his 10th appearance of the season in all competitions, was able to just watch it trickle behind, and QPR have a goal kick away to the right-hand side. 0-0 at Ellen Road in the early stages between Leeds and Forest. That's live over on Talksport. Best way to be across the action as ever is to download our free app. Excellent control by Kone on the edge of the centre circle. He'll play it square to Vale, who is walking the tightrope now on a yellow card, and Isaac Hayden in the middle of midfield, the former Newcastle man, in possession now on the halfway line, out to the right back position, and Ronnie Edwards, a recent signing at QPR from Southampton. Back it goes to Walsh again, and here is the tall, leggy Jimmy Dunn darting forward towards the midway point of his own half. Long ball downfield, a header by Ramsey hits the back of his own teammate, Carey. And now QPR look to counter with Smith. Cross from the right wing, and it's turned over the top. It'll be a goal kick. Late arriving in the penalty area was Vale. He went in with Kone. I think Vale got the final touch, Scott, but nowhere near to testing Kaminsky, and it's 0-0.
No, but it was good play from QPR, wasn't it? What a brilliant bring down from Richard Kone. You know, a player who he'll remember here, and I was here when he was playing for Wickham. You'll remember as well.
I do remember.
Joe, of course.
I do remember.
Charlton versus Wickham. And actually Lloyd Jones marked him out the game. I think the first half of last season he was absolutely sensational. He perhaps just ran out of gas a little bit towards the end, but there's no doubt about it, he's a special talent. Hasn't quite hit the ground running at QPR, but even if he doesn't score goals, he can be a handful. 7
for the season for Kone. The flick on by Dykes up the middle for Charlton. Header away by Dunn. It'll drop down to Harry Clark, who is on loan at Charlton from Ipswich Town. Cody with the bandages on chips the ball down the inside right channel. It's too long for everybody in red, and it'll bounce behind eventually, shepherded behind by Norrington Davis for a goal kick to QPR. We've had nearly 9 minutes, and actually on the field the energy is quite high from both sets of players, but nothing for either goalkeeper to do just yet. Charlton Athletic 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Charlton 3 points clear of the drop zone at the start of the evening, and QPR 4 points adrift of the top 6. So congested in the middle of the championship table. Kelman on the turn, can't get beyond Cuckoo. Hammers it upfield towards Kone. Not the best surface here at the Valley. There are parts of it that look a little thin on the ground. Some of the grass is not as clean looking as it should be. A bit of mud exposed. Charlton go long down the middle. The flick by Dykes towards Kelman in the penalty area. Back to goal. Kelman steers it left. Chambers with the delivery. Headed away at the near post by Cook, and the loose ball retrieved by the diminutive Smith, who races over the halfway line down this near side the left. We're in the main stand, just to the right of the halfway line as we look at it. Charlton fans right behind us. Some of them were asking Scott for his prediction before the game kicked off, and we'll get Scott's prediction in a moment. But here is Hayden for QPR, midway inside the Charlton half. Out on the right is Edwards, back in field to Hayden again, goes for goal from a long way out and drags it well wide. What are you expecting tonight, Scott, even 10 minutes in?
Well, if I could predict the future, Joe, I would be probably sitting on an island in Barbados having won the lottery. Actually, no, I would still want to be here, and I genuinely mean that. Look, I think what we're seeing is a very, very tight game. Charlton are strong at home. QPR have shown over the whole season they're the better side, but Charlton are still getting used to life in the Championship. Interest in the January windows, not a lot, just a couple of players for QPR, but I think Nathan Jones was backed. We talked about the two wing backs, one from Ipswich, another from Liverpool, and I think they'll just add something a little bit different, a little bit of energy, but also quality.
No win in 6 away league matches for Queen's Park Rangers since a victory at Blackburn towards the end of November. Thumping header downfield by Charlton's number 5, Lloyd Jones, who is really dominant in the air. Excellent against Leicester last weekend, but a clever back header by Madsen all the way through to his goalkeeper Walsh. And QPR look to build from the defensive third at the moment, with Hayden looking out wide right to Edwards in the right back position, shuffles it forward down that far side touchline towards Sato. Sato nips in and wins it back off Bell. Then Doherty and Hayden go head to head. Doherty shovels it forward into the path of Dykes. Dykes with a right footed shot, and it takes deflection and flies just beyond the far post. It looked for a moment like that was going to be in. It's a corner to Charlton, 0-0 Scott Minto.
Well done, Greg Doherty, for winning the ball back and then playing Dykes in, who then has a one-on-one situation when he's 20 yards out. He's not going to beat the defender for pace, so he just gets half a yard. Defender positions himself really well. There's a deflection there, but first real shot at goal from Charlton.
Corner in front of the mass of QPR fans behind the goal. In fact, I can see that some of them are still arriving at the ground. Delivered in by Carey, right-footed. Header away by Madsen inside the 6-yard box. Drops towards the edge of the penalty area. Hammered high into the dark night sky by Harvey Vale for QPR. Kaminski's miles out of his goal, the Charlton number 1. Good ball down the right from him to Clark. He nudges it backwards into the path of the ever-tenacious Doherty. Doherty, the captain, with the red boots on, has actually dribbled the ball out of play. You might have been able to tell from the ironic cheers of the QPR fans, but that's what you get from Greg Doherty. You get that hard-working presence in the middle of midfield, and he nearly set up a goal for Dykes, who got his first for Charlton last weekend at Leicester. Foul by Kelman on Cook, and a free kick to QPR.
Yeah, and I don't really know, Greg Doherty hasn't been in the side in recent times, and I just think he adds that little bit of power, the little bit of hustle and bustle that you need in the Championship. If a game's going against you and the other team's wrestling the tempo of the game, then he can certainly help stop that.
Madsen from 25 yards nudges it wide to Reece Norrington-Davies, whips the ball in towards Kone. Good interception by Jones, fed forward by Carey to Dykes. Good tempo to the game early on in this London derby. Charlton of the southeast 0, QPR of the west 0. Back it goes to Kaminski, all in green in front of the covered end, which is always very vocal here at the Valley. Forward by Cody up the inside right channel, cleared away by Cook for Queen's Park Rangers. Nathan Jones still barking instructions, Scott, from the near side of the field. You know what you're going to get with Nathan Jones, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, even he must put about 10 Duracell batteries in himself, the way he just keeps on going and going and going. But that's what made him the manager that he is. Sometimes a strength can be a weakness, and vice versa.
Yes, he's fully charged tonight, isn't he, Nathan Jones? That's for sure. Forward comes Dunn for QPR. Square to Cook, and now Norrington-Davies in the left back position, runs into Clark, who slides in and wins it back. Carey darting up the middle, 25 yards out. Was he fouled by Hayden? Looked to me like Hayden came across and got the ball. Referee says he did. Charlton end up with possession anyway. It's quite a scrap in the middle of midfield at the moment. Tackles are flying in. Both teams fully committed to the cause. 0-0 with nearly a quarter of an hour played on Talksport 2. Forward by Cody, right up the middle. Kelman is onside. He's brought it down left-hand edge of the penalty area. 2 in red in the middle. Good challenge, not once but twice from Dunn to win it off Kelman and then to beat Chambers in the 50-50, and QPR get a goal kick.
No, but you're right. It's a really good battle between these two teams, hard-working teams. They know, first of all, they have to try and win their individual battles, and then they'll try and let their players play. But at this moment in time, yeah, 2 bulls just locking horns.
That's the voice of the former Charlton defender Scott Minto with us tonight on Talksport 2. The ball is hoisted high downfield by Cook. It'll bounce at the middle of the Charlton half. Bell does well to pluck it out of the air and nudge it to the left, and Chambers with the long sleeve shirt on. Chambers, he's got a great left foot. Back to Amari Bell, who played under Nathan Jones in their time together at Luton Town. They know each other well. Chambers in the left wing back position. Back to Bell again. Bell looks up, I think thought about a long diagonal ball, goes backwards to the giant at the heart of the three-man defence, Jones. Then Ramsey does go long, high up the near side, the right. Good ball towards Clark. Clark does well to beat two QPR men to it. Lays it square to the onrushing Cody. Doherty feeds it wide left. Good move by Charlton. Chambers with a looping cross. Well taken by Walsh, the goalkeeper. High above his head, inside the 18-yard box. Good direct build-up play from Charlton Athletic.
Absolutely. And do you know what? I really like the look of Harry Clark. He looks a little bit of class, you know, that first touch, able to get himself in positions and just nick the ball around players. Really good first-time pass from Greg Doherty, and Chambers just overhit the cross there.
And he was part of the Ipswich squad, as I say, that won promotion to the Premier League a couple of seasons ago. QPR from right to left in the first half, with Dunn, the number 3, working it wide out to the near side, and the left back Norrington Davis. Now Smith joining the attack, taking on Clark in a one-on-one. Near side of the field at the covered end, goes to the dead ball line, whips in a high cross to the back post. Sato is never going to leap to reach that, but it's dropped to Edwards anyway on the QPR right. Forward to Sato, down by the corner flag. Sato for Dembele, the one change for QPR tonight, enforced due to injury. Likewise, Charlton bringing in Kelman for the injured Lieber. Here is Madsen for QPR, and Hayden back out wide to Edwards. Dunn's on the halfway line, and Dunn has given it straight to Cody, who then lunges in on Edwards. Edwards leapt over the challenge, and the referee says play on. It certainly would have been a QPR free kick had they not continued with the ball. Good advantage played by the referee. Kelman retreating for Charlton as Smith crosses in high for QPR, and it's gathered by the Charlton goalkeeper Kaminski. Lively here in the capital on Talksport 2, but it remains 0-0, and we haven't really had that clear-cut chance just yet. Tomorrow lunchtime on 2, we will bring you Derby against Ipswich from the Championship. Derby genuine playoff contenders now, of course. Ipswich 7 points off the pace in the race for the top 2, though they've got a game in hand. And then at 3 o'clock, the leaders Coventry against Oxford, who are in the relegation zone. Kone with his back to goal for QPR goes down, no free kick. Challenge was firm but fair from Jones.
Yeah, look, you can call it scrappy, or you can call it just hard-working teams closing each other down. I think what we're seeing is in the final third that ball isn't quite good enough. Luke Chambers just had a chance to whip in a quality cross in. Paul Smith too, but it only takes one moment. And look, you asked me what I think the score. I was asked what I think the score would be. there could be just one goal in it. You know, yeah. Charlton have been like that under Nathan Jones, even last season as well. And I think it's one of those that you've got two really hard-working sides, and yeah, the moment you get that first goal, then suddenly they can control the game and where they want to position themselves.
You're absolutely right, Scott. They are often tight games. 8 of Charlton's 9 league wins this season have been to 0. So if they keep a clean sheet, they're often a good bet. Clark tries a cross, hits the back of Norrington Davis on loan from Sheffield United, and Charlton have a throw. Level with the edge of the 18-yard box, so of course it's going to be a long throw. Carey is going to come forward to take it. Jones is being called forward to join the attack. A lot of height, a lot of options aerially for Charlton inside the penalty area. Ramsey's come forward as well.
In a tight game, Joe, as well, these type of set pieces, corner free kicks or long throws, just so important.
Well, here it comes from Carey, high into the penalty area, flicked on by Clark, and then hit over the top of the bar by Dykes. On the half turn, right on the edge of the 18-yard area with a flurry of bodies in front of him, and that ball soared into the Jimmy Seed stand.
Do you know what? He's outside the box, and you're right, there's a lot of bodies between him and the goal, but that's a chance. The way that he was able to bring that down, and then, I mean, he still had to sort of do it almost in the half volley, but hit the target, and that would have tested Walsh for sure.
Here goes Doherty in the middle of midfield for Charlton, loses out to QPR's Vale. Meanwhile, Jones has gone down, I think after a tangle with Richard Kone. That is certainly going to be one of the defining battles of the game so far. Meanwhile, the referee's walked away to speak to Jimmy Dunn, and he's going to take the ball back to QPR's Hayden, and I think the game is going to start with of course these days the uncontested drop ball. QPR are going to get it back again. The subs tonight for Charlton: Mannion, Campbell, Berry, Coventry, Rankin Costello, Godden, Fevrier, Gillespie, and the new signing Sichenji. And I give you the QPR bench as well: Hamer, Adamson, Benny, Colley, Esquerdinha, Morgan, Smith, Mbenge, and Alamehu. It's a relatively youthful QPR bench. They and Charlton have both got injuries to key players. Long ball downfield towards Dykes for Charlton. Good header away by Cook. Cook versus Dykes is going to be a key head-to-head tonight, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's going to be, I mean, you said it there, two battles with Dykes and Cook, and down the other end, Kone and Lloyd Jones. I'd just like to give Matty Godden a little bit of a mention. He was superb, and of course the match winner in the playoff final. But he was superb the whole of last season, had a horrible injury. I genuinely believe he is a championship player. And he came back last week after 5 months out. It's going to take him a little bit of time, but he looked sharp last week, so he can come on and make a difference for sure.
Looked really lively, didn't he? And you wonder where Charlton would be in the table if they'd had his goals from minute one. Bell down the inside left for Charlton. Chambers in support on the overlap. Chambers with a first-time left-footed cross. Good ball into the penalty area, right along the 6-yard line. Nobody in red attacking it. In the end, Norrington Davis has the luxury of chesting it down, hammers it clear. It's flicked off the head of Cody and back through towards Kaminski. A very competitive first quarter of the game, Scott. But it's still 0-0. Long go Charlton again, header away.
Joe, we talked about the sort of, working really hard in midfield, but the quality of the final ball is not quite there. What a ball that was from Edwards.
And now Carey from the right wins a corner off Norrington Davis. I tell you what, Chambers played a ball in just like that for Lyndon Dykes at Leicester City last weekend, and it led to the second goal.
Yes, sorry, Chambers it was who played the ball in, and it was a wonderful ball, and someone's got to get towards the far post. That's the only thing he was going to be able to do, just try and whip it in as much as possible. You've got to race in there in a game of so few chances where you don't score many goals in open play. Charlton have to try and get on the end of those.
There is an Edwards on the pitch, but he's playing for the other team. Corner's going to be taken here by Chambers, near side the Charlton right. It'll be left-footed and in-swinging. Two arms up into the air. What does that signal? QPR have got everybody back. It's drifted in high to the back post, over the head of Kone, who tried to leap to head it clear. Kept in play by Jones, but Jones with a very tepid ball backwards, cleared upfield by Kone. QPR tried to counter, but Bell is there in the way of Harvey Vale. And the ball flies up into the sky, hits Carey on the shoulder, and goes out of play for a throw to Queen's Park Rangers. I wonder, Scott, who'll be the happier at the moment? Will it be Nathan Jones, or will it be the head coach down below as Julian Stephan of QPR?
Well, I think both would be reasonably happy, and happy they haven't conceded the first goal in a game that will be very, very tight. I think Julian Stephan's side, QPR, in the first couple of minutes really showed intent and got into Charlton's half, but since then Charlton have come back into it and created a couple of chances, or half chances. So I think Nathan Jones would probably be a little bit of the happier the way the game has kind of gone on, but QPR still look dangerous. Need to get their wide players involved a little bit more. They're very, very good, of course, and we've seen Smith sort of whipping some in-swinging corners and free kicks and crosses. Not quite done it so far.
Kelman looks for Dykes, one-on-one with Cook. Back comes Norrington Davis, slides in. Dykes still has it. Good feet from Dykes, tripped by Hayden. Knew that he'd fouled him. Hands went straight to his head, straight away Isaac Hayden there. Dykes did brilliantly to hold up the play. Charlton's number 99, there's a squad number for you. And it's a free kick to Charlton in a shooting position, left of centre as we look at it, 0-0.
Well, look, when someone's made a mistake when they lift their arms up straight away and look towards the ref. I mean, guilty, Your Honour. But why are you making that challenge when you're 25 yards out, almost bank centre in front of goal, certainly in between the two sticks? And it gives the opportunity for the free kick taker now to go either side if he's got that quality.
Well, will it be Carey or will it be Chambers? You feel that it's probably best set up here for the right foot of Carey. 25 yards out at the Jimmy Seed stand end. That's where the QPR fans are. Charlton 0, QPR 0 in the 26th minute. Charlton here with a chance for a shot at goal. It's left to Carey, right-footed, big deflection off the wall, loops over the top for another Charlton corner.
Good wall, good wall. That's what you want your defensive wall to be like, to stand strong. I mean, that was going on target. Whether it would have gone in or not, I'm not so sure. Joe Walsh might have thought, yeah, I can stop that, but it's exactly what you want from you all. Be brave.
Leeds 1, Nottingham Forest 0 in the Premier League. Jayden Bogle has scored. Those teams level on points at the start of the night in the Premier League relegation battle. 16th against 17th. Live on Talksport right now. Chambers with the corner for Charlton. Punched away by Walsh. It was whipped right underneath his crossbar. And the goalkeeper, with a crowd of players in front of him, swatted at the ball with his left hand and managed to deflect it behind for a second Charlton corner in quick succession, and their fourth in all through the first 27 minutes so far. Carey's going to take it from the opposite wing. Another Insua, right-footed this time. Good header away by Steve Cook at the near post. It's nodded back towards Dykes, right corner of the box. Cleared upfield by Norrington Davis. Retrieved down the right for Charlton by Amari Bell, and the last touch of Norrington Davis again. It's another Charlton throw on this near side of the field, midway into the QPR half. Now they've kept Jones forward here. Is it too far away for a long throw? Harry Clark decides that it is. He looks square for Dykes, who immediately loses the ball, but then it's given away by Smith. It is Charlton who are having the better of it in terms of possession and territory in the game. QPR are playing on the counter-attack, and they haven't really threatened in that manner as yet. Good diagonal ball by Cody. Through the air out to the right to find Clark. Clark is faced up by two QPR defenders in the blue and white hooped shirts. They go long though, Charlton, to Kelman in the penalty area. Plays it back to Doherty and then swept over the top. First time right-footed by Carey from just to the right of the edge of the D.
Yeah, he gets in positions, doesn't he, that where he can actually have a shot at goal. And he has had the most shots of any Charlton player. In fact, going into this game, 60 shots and 17 more than anybody else. But you can see that that's a sign of a good player, that he finds positions. Wonderful goal that he scored last week. Maybe a slightly lucky with the touch, just dinking it over the Leicester defender, but still he wanted to try and control the ball, and he made his own luck, and it's still a very good finish, and he does score really important goals as well.
He certainly does. Scored in each of Charlton's last two victories, including the winner here on this ground against Sheffield United. Nearly half an hour gone on Talksport 2. Charlton Athletic 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0. The live football on Talksport tomorrow at 12:30 sees us go to Manchester United, who take on Spurs. Here is Kelman for Charlton, midway inside the QPR half. Early ball into the penalty area. Clever little flick that from the on-rushing Dykes, but he couldn't find a teammate in red and wide. Then it'll be headed away by Norrington Davis, only as far as Cody. Nudges it forward to Clark. Ball back into the penalty area. Looked like it struck the arm of Madsen. Cody from the dead ball line with a pullback. Laid off now to Carey from the angle. Good block by Hayden inside the box. That was certainly goal-bound, and Hayden got something on it to deflect it away. But at the moment, Charlton, from left to right, look the more likely to score the opening goal.
Yeah, it's all Charlton now for sure. And after an initial good start in the first couple of minutes from QPR, you can see why Charlton are strong at home and such a difficult side to play against. They're strong, they're robust, and Dykes has come in and done well already. I actually think he didn't need to lay it back there. He could have taken a touch and just tried to whip a shot on it in himself, but yeah, this moment in time, the last 10-15 minutes, it's been all Charlton, and whether it's corners, long throws, or another free kick that we got now, it's a little bit too far out to have a shot. They're certainly putting the pressure on this QPR defence.
Well, Chambers is going to deliver this left of centre as we look at it. Yeah, a good 35 yards out, I think this. only 2 in the QPR wall, reflecting the fact that everybody's expecting a cross. Half an hour gone. Charlton 0, QPR 0. Delivered in by Chambers, who tried to catch the goalkeeper out. He did go for goal, but Walsh was alert to it. Palms it behind for a corner.
Well, that was cheeky, wasn't it? And shows the confidence of the young lad from Liverpool as well. Everyone's thinking he's going to whip it in, and he was hoping that Joe Walsh should be thinking exactly the same thing. Walsh does well in the end, just diving to his right.
And Walsh's footwork was very good there, wasn't it? All in the footwork from the goalkeeper to scamper quite nimbly across to his right. There are 2 balls on the pitch, so Carey's got to get rid of one before taking the corner. Charlton have been the better team so far. They've looked the more likely, the team in red, but it's still 0-0. Carey in swinging, right-footed into the 6-yard box. Dykes gets up at the back post, headed away in front of him by Edwards. Back in by Dykes. Harry Clark has a swing at it, stabbed away upfield by Hayden for QPR. Charlton go back out wide left, delivered in by Carey, flicked on by Jones. Ramsey might get there. Good save by the goalkeeper to deny Cody at point blank range. Walsh punches the air. That's a brilliant reaction save. Cody was inside the 6-yard box and the goalkeeper got something on it.
That's an absolutely fantastic save from Joe Walsh. I mean, QPR looks so much better with him in the goal. And the way he just spreads it himself, it's almost sort of Peter Schmeichel-like. Connor Cody trying to hit the target, stopped a definite goal.
Another long throw into the penalty area for Charlton, headed away again at the near post. QPR are getting no breathing space whatsoever so far. Certainly the last 10 minutes have been pretty relentless from a Charlton perspective. They'll feel they should be in front, and we've had the first big chance of the game. A brilliant save by Walsh to deny Cody. Kone at the other end for QPR. Would be against the run of play if they were to score now. Hayden knocks it square to Edwards. Edwards with a crossfield ball, right to left. Well controlled by Norrington Davis. Lots of time to fizz in the cross. Header away by Jones on the edge of the 6-yard box. Drops for Madsen, who knocks it wide to Norrington Davis. Industrious work, tracking back by Kelman to deflect it out of play. We've got a London derby on our hands now, Scott Minter.
Yeah, it's a really good game of football, and to be fair, it's QPR on the back foot. It's coming from Charlton. All the really good football, or certainly the pressurised football. QPR just have to make sure that they don't concede in this period. And if they can nick one down the other end, it's been a long time since they've been down there, but they've got the opportunity of a long throw now, then they'll be on the front foot.
Yes, we've not looked to our left very often. The long throw into the near post, headed away initially by Dykes, hooked on by Carey. Kelman's going to chase it. Cook had a head start in that foot race to nudge it back to the goalkeeper, and a quick ball by Walsh finds Edwards. Edwards again with a crossfield pass. Again, right to left, out to the near side, and Smith. Smith in an inside left position, heading infield all the time. Lays it square to Hayden. Square now to Madsen with a curling shot. Charged down by Doherty. Header on by Kelman, and now Dykes trying to race through the middle on his own. Edwards gets back at him, but Dykes has still got the ball. And then across comes Cook with a well-timed lunge to win it back for Queen's Park Rangers. You can't take your eyes off this game. Don't adjust your radio. Somehow, it's still 0-0.
Yeah, somehow. And this time, it's thanks to Steve Cook. What a tackle that was. We talked about the save from Joe Walsh just 3 or 4 minutes ago. That was brilliant. Well, Steve Cook, from a defending point of view, once you go to ground inside the penalty area, you better win the ball, and boy did he.
2-0 now to Leeds against Nottingham Forest. Noah Okafor has scored that goal. So Leeds 2, Nottingham Forest 0 in that battle of 16th against 17th in the Premier League. And Leeds with a chance to move 9 points clear of the drop zone.
You know what, Joe? This is brilliant from Charlton. It really is. Putting a side that is going for the playoffs at the moment under a lot of pressure. And for QPR, they need to try and take the sting out of the situation at the moment. Just keep the ball for as much as possible. Even if you don't create chances, make sure Charlton don't have the ball and have the ability to get the fans behind them.
Having to really fight to stay in the game at the moment, QPR. Smith for them, level with the edge of the penalty area, plays it back, Paul Smith, into the feet of Nicholas Madsen, who scored the winner against Coventry. Cook with the diagonal ball out towards the right, headed away by Chambers, retrieved by Edwards, who was standing in an almost inverted position there, the right back. Now Sato with the lime green boots on, and Dunn. Good possession actually for Queen's Park Rangers with 9.5 minutes of the first half to go.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, what they need to do. They need to take the sting out of the situation. Charlton trying to close down all the times, but they need to find a way to get options, to be brave on the ball, even if you're being marked. Receive the ball, play it 1-2 touch, but let Charlton have the ball and be able to get those dangerous free kicks, corners, long throws into the box.
Now it's the Frenchman Julien Stéphan, the former Rennes manager, who is looking the livelier of the two bosses in the technical area. Header by Kone to flick the ball down the middle for QPR, hooked over his shoulder and away from danger by Chambers. Now the ball's in the centre circle, half retrieved by Dykes, quickly set upon by two in QPR blue and white, and it's won back by Hayden on the halfway line, and they are steadying themselves in the game now, QPR.
Yeah, this is good play. This is exactly... there's a lot of experienced players out there for QPR, and they know, actually, we've been under pressure now. Let's just sit in a little bit, but when we get the ball, let's take the sting out of it. It's exactly what they're doing at the moment. This is really good play.
Edwards just shy of the halfway line for Queen's Park Rangers. Back to Hayden, and now here is Dunn. Dunn, the centre half, square to Cook. Mud all over the back of his shirt. Back to Walsh, the goalkeeper. Hammers it high downfield up towards Sato. Does really well, actually, Sato there to jostle with Bell. It looks like a physical mismatch, but Sato giving as good as he gets. Bell, though, does come out with the ball and angles the pass wide left to the wing-back Chambers. Back to Amari Bell. Former Charlton defender Scott Minto is with us tonight on Talksport 2. We'll get another word from Scott in just a moment. Long ball downfield by Bell, thundered towards the edge of the QPR penalty area, dealt with by Dunn, but Bell heads the ball on from the halfway line. Little flick by Dykes into the path of Clark, twisting and turning nearly beyond Norrington Davis, who just gets a touch there, Scott, playing in your position, left back, to nudge it out of play for a throw.
Yeah, I mean, again, Harry Clark looking dangerous down the right. I think he believes he's definitely a better than the bottom end championship player, and he's come to Charlton and he's showing just that. Very good loan signing, and I like the look of Luke Chambers as well.
Well, what's Carey going to do here? Is he going to take a long throw? They've sent Ramsey and Jones forward for it. It's high towards Jones, header away by Cook. Everybody was back for QPR. The ball has dropped to Bell, who was just forward of the centre circle, and there's a Charlton fan rather behind us shouting, "Shoot, ambitious." Long from Ramsey, little flick by Dykes, who's been everywhere in the game so far. Header away by Madsen, and that's another Charlton throw, this time on the far side in front of the stand named after the great Charlton manager, Alan Kirbishley, who Scott knows very well.
I do. Not only did I play under him, I played with him. I'm that old.
High ball for Charlton again. Good flick by Jones out to the right. Here is Clark in front of the QPR supporters. 0-0. Charlton get a throw down by the corner flag. We've got 6 minutes plus added time remaining in the first half. Game's had a bit of everything, especially for a derby, bar a goal so far anyway. That goal might not be far away. It's going to be Carey again to hurl the ball in long from the throw. Again, QPR with everybody back. Long to the near post, and Clark headed away. Back in by Ramsey, out to the right, and Carey to loft the ball in right-footed. Flicked on by Doherty. Header away by Cook, not very far. Drops towards Cody. Headed away by Norrington Davis. The bombardment of the QPR goal continues, but Clark's layoff is a really poor one. Out of play for a QPR throw, and Norrington Davis, I think really sensibly, just says to Smith, let's slow the game down. QPR can waste away a few seconds, get a breather, and stop some of that Charlton athletic momentum.
Well, you asked me about 15 minutes ago who would be the happier of the two managers. I mean, in terms of performance, most definitely Nathan Jones now. It's kind of 50-50 at the time that you asked me, but Charlton have stepped it up. And what Julien Stéphan will be happy with, that so far they've kept a clean sheet, but they've been very much under the cosh.
Sato trying to carry the ball forward for QPR, robbed by Doherty on the halfway line. Referee lets the advantage play, fizzed forward by Chambers, cleared away by Cook. Not sure how much of an advantage there was really for Charlton there. They were quite a long way away from goal. Then Bell through the back of Sato, shoves him in the back, and that's a free kick to Queen's Park Rangers on the halfway line. Just watching the goalkeeper Joe Walsh going over to Steve Cook to have a quick word.
Yeah, Mario Bell didn't need to do that. You know, that ball was fizzed into Sato, and if it had got the good first touch, if Bell had timed it right, and he still could have used his muscle and nicked the ball off him. And now he's given what QPR want, the ability to take the sting out the situation, you know, waste about sort of 30-40 seconds if they can, and get the ball deep into Charlton's half.
We've had 41 minutes. QPR are going to send this free kick square from the halfway line, despite having plenty forward. Now Vale from just inside the Charlton half, long ball downfield, well claimed by Kaminski. The former Luton goalkeeper very quickly out of his goal, and an overarm throw out to the right, and the captain Doherty. Doherty goes cross-field, right to left. That's a lovely ball, miscontrolled by Carey, but he does keep it in play. Carey then scampers towards the left corner of the penalty area. Back to Bell to deliver first time, headed away by Cook in front of Dykes, and Cook is winning that battle so far at least, but he's being given a real tussle in that one-on-one duel by Lyndon Dykes. Ramsey tripped by Kone, who's had nothing to feed off up front for Queen's Park Rangers, and has now conceded a free kick. It's not really been the performance of a team chasing the playoffs from QPR.
No, I think you're absolutely right in saying that. But, you know, this is not an easy place to come. No. Yes, Charlton are, you know, trying to get away from the relegation zone, but the Valley is a tough place to come and get all 3 points. And the sign of a good side is when you're under pressure, you don't concede. And if it gets to 0-0, they'll be delighted with that. When you're on top, like Charlton, that's when you do need to score that goal. QPR may well be better in the second half, and Charlton could be ruining the fact that they haven't scored in the first half.
Free kick 10 yards into QPR territory, long by Carey into the penalty area, headed away, and then hit forward on the half volley by Madsen. Nobody's upfield to retrieve it for QPR. It's dropped to Bell, all the time in the world to hurl it long again into the box. Headed away by Cook this time. Out on the right, deflection on the cross by Clark. Has Walsh prevented the corner of the goalkeeper? I think he has. Walsh gets across and is allowed to play on. Very much the QPR number one now, Joe Walsh, with Paul Nardi out of favour, and the former Charlton goalkeeper Ben Hamer acting as backup.
Yeah, I think there has been a problem with QPR in the goalkeeping area, with Walsh being out. As I said earlier, and I think the save against Cody showed it. It just looks safer, don't they, QPR, defensively? I mean, I like the defence as well. I like the two centre-halves. Obviously, Ronnie Edwards has come in. I'm sure he'll be a good addition as well. But with Joe Walsh as the goalkeeper, you know, that's a decent back four, back five.
And 90 seconds of the first half to go at the Valley. Some of the Charlton fans heading for the concourse areas ahead of half-time. Charlton 0, QPR 0. Sato inside right for QPR, tries to nudge it out to the right-hand side, and Vale deflection on it. There'll be a Queen's Park Rangers throw. Now Edwards is looking at Madsen as if to say who's going to take this, and Edwards is asking Cook to jog across to the right hand side, and it'll be Steve Cook, the very experienced former Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest man, to go across and take it, to throw it in long right in front of the Charlton fans in the East Stand. Couple of red and white banners behind him. Red and white army says one. Long throw into the area by Cook, and a towering header away by Dykes. It's gone back out wide to Cook on the volley to cross into the penalty area, and that was a dangerous ball. Nearly dropped for Harvey Vale, but then one bounce and it's into the gloves of Kaminski.
That can't be right. I'm looking at the stats saying there's no shots on target from either side.
Well, that isn't true, because there have been at least one from Charlton's Cody.
Yeah, I thought Cody that must have been going on target. The free kick just round the corner of the wall from Luke Edwards.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it. It's refreshed. It's 2 shots on target.
That's more like it.
Not one from QPR yet, though.
We are your eyes and ears here on Talksport 2, and we can tell you there have been a couple of Charlton shots on target. 3 added minutes at the end of the first half. Charlton 0, QPR 0. Enjoyable, certainly, but no goals as yet, Scott.
I think it's been enjoyable for Charlton fans. I think they've played really well. I've been slightly disappointed with QPR, but again, the positive is that they haven't conceded when Charlton have been on top. First 10-15 minutes I thought were very equal. After that, it's kind of been all Charlton. And they've got to find a way to win these type of matches when they are on top, especially at home.
Header squared by Doherty, out to the right, and Carey. Was he tripped from behind by Smith? Charlton were expecting the free kick, not given by the referee. Smith races forward over the halfway line, right up the middle on the counter. Forward ball to Kone. Kone on the edge of the D, nudges it back towards Smith, and he nearly found him. Swept upfield by Jones on the cover for Charlton, the ever-reliable Lloyd Jones. And then it's poked down the middle by Dykes. Jimmy Dunn in the way. Back pass just about away from Kelman. It was a risky back pass because I don't think he looked. I don't know if he knew Kelman was behind him or not.
I think he looked, but he was facing to use his left foot, and he kind of twisted his body to use his right, and I'm pretty sure he didn't want it to be as close to Kelman as it was.
Well, Hayden's gone down here for Queen's Park Rangers, holding his midriff. Maybe it's a rib injury, but he's going to need the physio on here in first half added time. That's the cue for a lot of Charlton fans and QPR supporters as well to get up and head for the concourses ahead of the break. And it's also an opportunity for both managers to call their teams over.
Well, look, I'm going to tell you something that you won't know, Joe.
Okay.
So obviously, I love Charlton. I came through the ranks in the youth team and played in the Back to the Valley. So, my heart is with Charlton, but I actually did wear the QPR shirt.
Yes.
I trained with them when I left West Ham for a week. Ian Holloway was the manager who I was reunited with a few years later on TV and gave me my funniest moment on TV. But yeah, for a week I wore the shirt. I played at Loftus Road as well in pre-season.
You have represented QPR?
I have represented QPR.
So you've got a stake in both camps?
I wouldn't go that far. 7 years with Charlton, 1 week with
7
QPR.
days with QPR.
Yes.
Well, a game is a game. And once you pull the shirt on, then there's a little bit of a connection to the club, however small and tenuous that might be. Scott Minto with us also played for West Ham, Benfica, Chelsea.
And now QPR.
Here is Cook for QPR. Now, Hayden is off injured, so QPR temporarily down to 10. Hayden waiting to get the call to come back on. We've had the 3 minutes of added time at the end of the first half, and the ball from Dykes rolls along the halfway line and right out of play. Hayden, well, the referees look towards him as if to say, I thought you can come back on. And now he does call Isaac Hayden back onto the field. James Bell, incidentally, is the match referee tonight. Leeds United 2, Nottingham Forest 0 as a half-time score live on Talksport this evening. Out comes Kaminski, the Charlton goalkeeper. Rushes forward all of a sudden after the ball bobbled into the Charlton box, and Kaminski takes command. 0-0 here as the Charlton goalkeeper hammers the ball high and long. Flicked on by Dykes, header away by Cook. Kelman beaten easily by Cook to that second ball, and then Norrington Davis is caught by Kelman, and that'll be a free kick to QPR. Derby against Ipswich and Coventry against Oxford are two brilliant showpiece commentaries from the Championship tomorrow, back to back on Talksport 2. It's a day where you really don't want to miss any of the live football on the Talksport network, because on Talksport at 12:30 it's Man United against Spurs, so big games all round. Referee's had a look at his watch. We've now played nearly 5 minutes of added time, and that is the end of the first half. A first half dominated by Charlton Athletic. I'm looking at the QPR goalkeeper Joe Walsh as he takes the applause of the Rangers fans behind the goal to the right-hand side. He's certainly been the busier of the two goalkeepers. One magnificent reaction save to deny Connor Cody, and good quick feet from the goalkeeper to turn away Luke Chambers' surprise shot from a free kick as well. Walsh has been the outstanding player in the game so far, but Charlton have certainly been the better team. though they are yet to make the breakthrough, Scott Minto, and it's 0-0 at half-time.
Yeah, and if anything, they probably will be disappointed that they haven't scored at least one goal. I mean, look, let's start defensively. I think they've been excellent and haven't, as yet, Kaminsky had a shot to save. And actually, when he has come out, he's looked very good at crosses and timings when balls have been played, and he's come out very, very quickly. But going forward, I think Charlton, after the first 15 minutes, just look really dangerous. The powerhouses of Nathan Jones's players is how he wants his teams to play. Not necessarily pretty on the eye, but very effective and difficult to play against. And it's almost as if QPR are not able to handle that physicality. They're not able to get the ball down and pass around them. And there's only once or twice in that first half where they took the sting out of the situation. They need to get the wide players a little bit more involved if they can get balls into the box for Richard Coney, who at times has looked dangerous but has been starved of service. But that initially comes from the midfield. And at this moment in time, the Charlton midfield are getting the better of the QPR midfield.
How good was that save from Joe Walsh? What a stop that is from the QPR keeper.
It was sensational. It was one of those where you just come out as quickly as possible and you make yourself as big as possible and you hope it hits the body. And there's no luck in it. It's just brilliant goalkeeping because of the pace that you come out. And Conor Cody's probably thinking, I've got a goal here. All I've got to do is hit the target. And suddenly this big wall has come in front of him. And, you know, it's the best chance of the game so far and the reason why it's 0-0.
And when just finally, Scott, for now, when you look at Richard Coney at the other end of the field for QPR, do you look at him and you think he's not had the service, or does he need to do more? Is he doing enough with the runs that he's making?
No, I think he's not had the service, to be honest with you. I think at times he has brought the ball down. I think he's looked dangerous. He's got, nice feet. I mean, Lloyd Jones, I talked about the semi-final last season in the playoff in League One, and he actually really looked after Richard Coney. I think at times he's finding it a little bit more difficult now, but actually he's not being given the service, Coney, in the first place. We talked about when Smith comes inside, he's almost overhitting the crosses. Sato's not really getting involved at all. He's trying his best, but he can't handle the physicality of the Charlton defence. I think Coney needs more service and better service, and if he gets the balls in the box with quality, then he'll always have a chance of hitting the target and scoring. And
actually, just a quick one on Steve Cook. Our producer has just told me, Steve Cook, how many? 16 clearances in the first half, 13 more than anybody else.
And that last-ditch tackle he made on Lyndon Dykes as well was sensational. I think Lyndon Dykes didn't have much left in him, but he kind of outpaced one defender, and then Cook just came across. They're not easy, and the timing of his tackle was absolutely superb. And you talk about Joe Walsh being the best player on the pitch. I'd probably give it to Steve Cook myself.
Scott, thank you very much indeed. For now, much more from the former Charlton, and he played one friendly game for QPR, Scott Minto, alongside me here on Talksport 2. Second half coming up for you, and we'll look ahead to Super Bowl 60 on Talksport 2 next.
Established and excellent evening star of football. Kickoff live on Talksport 2.
Attention sports fans of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. This Sunday night, get all the gridiron grinding, touchdown tackling action of Super Bowl 60 live on Talksport.
Middle of the end zone, touchdown!
Bringing you a 3-gallon-sized Slurpee cup of backfield buildup from 11 p.m. Followed by play-by-play commentary of the Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots live from San Francisco.
End zone caught, touchdown!
Plus, watch along by searching for Talksport on your smart TV.
No way, man.
Super Bowl 60. The Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. Sunday night from 11 on Talksport.
Whoa.
The Volkswagen Fantabulous, Fandabby-Dozy, Fandanger Ding Dong Fortnight is here.
Stop. We've been through this, Harry. It's the Volkswagen Fantastic Fortnight. Much snappier.
Oh, okay. From the 2nd to the 16th of February, the Volkswagen Fantastic Fortnight gives you an extra £1,000 towards your finance deposit on top of existing offers on the Polo, Golf, Tiguan and our all-electric ID 3, 4 and 5 with Solutions PCP 7.9% APR representative. Visit your nearest Volkswagen retailer now. Hurry, offer ends 16th of February. Better?
Perfect.
Indemnities may be required. Volkswagen Financial Services.
For a Sunday showdown you really won't want to miss, look no further than Anfield as Liverpool entertain fierce rivals Man City.
That is glorious.
That is world class.
And you can stream it flexibly on Sky Sports with Now No Fuss.
All-time Premier League classic.
Head to nowtv.com.
Premier League at its finest.
Stream Liverpool v Man City this Sunday at 4:30 p.m. with Now. 18 plus, UK only. Broadband 2.5 megabits per second required.
Evening. How's your night shift going? Just a quick check-in from Acorn Insurance, the taxi specialists. We've been by your side for over 40 years, helping new drivers earn a no-claims bonus from day one and accepting up to 9 years no claims from veteran cabbies. That's why we're the largest taxi insurance specialist in the UK. Find out more at acorninsure.co.uk/taxi. Bye for now. Acorn Insurance and Financial Services Limited is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.
It's the last chance to get yourself a ticket for Saturday's Lotto draw.
It could be you.
Lotto from the National Lottery. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
It might be cold outside, but things are really warming up at the Wren Winter Sale, with red-hot prices on our high-quality, fully built kitchens and fitted bedrooms. Right now, there's up to 60% off fully built kitchens and all bedroom units, plus up to 7 years interest-free credit. Made for making you feel warm inside, whatever the weather. Wren, made for living. Visit your nearest Wren showroom. Offers apply when you buy 5 or more kitchen units or 3 or more bedroom units. Finance subject to status and minimum spend.
At Lidl, there's always more to value. Like switching from Sainsbury's to Lidl and saving £32 on this week's big shop at lidl.co.uk/save more. Which means a stocked up fridge of big brands, award-winning own brands, and your fresh 5 a day with extra helpings encouraged. Lidl, more to value. Prices check 2nd of the 2nd, 26. Sainsbury's also sell other products. See online for more details.
Go where umbrellas are for cocktails. There's still time to get up to £300 off city breaks in EasyJet's Big Orange Sale. Or get flights from £28 one way. EasyJet. Get out there. Selected dates and flights, limited availability. Holiday sale ends 3rd of March. Min, spend and ATOL protected. T's and C's apply.
What a goal! The latest audience listening scores are in. And over 3.5 million fans choose the Talksport network for world-beating sports coverage from the best team in the business.
Sheer quality.
That's enough to fill 39 Wembley stadiums every week.
Absolutely humongous.
What a result.
Incredible.
On DAB, on the app, and on your smart TV. Back of the net broadcasting in a league of its own. Talksport, official broadcaster of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Stand by for a super savvy Saturday of scintillating live football on the Talksport network.
From 12:30 at a daring double, Manchester United face Spurs on Talksport, while Derby go up against Ipswich on Talksport 2.
Grip on for a supersonic Saturday of live game day football on Talksport and Talksport 2.
On DAB+, online, via the Talksport app, and on your smart speaker.
Kickoff live.
Slide tackling, spontaneous football and fury.
Get stuck in the thoroughly world-famous Kickoff. Readily discursive and totally immersive.
Award-winning live football commentary.
Kickoff live
On Talksport 2.
I always wanted to be a champion. I always wanted to be a Super Bowl champion, and the opportunity is right there in front of us.
I'm just glad I'm going to the Super Bowl. It don't matter about the opponent, but we going. Seahawks win, and the Seahawks are going back to the Super Bowl. Can you believe it?
Goes to Walker, cuts back to the left. Huge amount of space on that side. He's hitting the floor, but he gets into the end zone, strolling back. Less of a Walker, more of a stroll into the end zone.
Man, they doubted us all year. We in the bowl, baby.
May 3-step drop. He looks, he fires, end zone. Outstretched hands, brought in, touchdown, Patriots.
Do you feel like they've been disrespected?
It doesn't matter. We're in the Super Bowl.
Don't let go of the rope. You belong here.
The Seahawks, New England Patriots, Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. Yes, the Super Bowl is just 2 days away, and Talksport are live in Santa Clara, California, bringing you all the action as the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks go head-to-head for the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Will Gavin is on play-by-play. The former Patriots offensive linesman Ross Tucker
is your co-commentator live from 11 o'clock over on Talksport on Sunday. Offensive lineman, not linesman, as I just said. I'm still thinking our football. American football live on the Talksport network, and it's as big as it gets, Super Bowl 60. Would you stay up for it, Scott?
Do you know what? I heard Will earlier on sort of saying he's never been so confident of saying that who believes will win the Super Bowl. I personally think New England have a little bit more chance than people are giving them credit for. But who am I to argue with Will Gavin?
I tell you what, he's an absolute star, Will, and he is a star with the fans in the United States as well. They absolutely love the British play-by-play commentary. So it's definitely one to listen to on Talksport. Couple of days away, Super Bowl 60 live with us. Wings or nachos, Scott, by the way?
Wings.
Wings, yeah, all the way.
Protein.
I think I'm a nachos man, to be honest.
What do you have with it? Jalapenos as well?
Chicken nachos.
Yeah.
Jalapenos, yeah. Lots of cheese, salsa.
Lots of cheese.
Sounds
Can't
nice,
do
doesn't it, to be honest?
Yeah. Why aren't we out there, Santa Clara?
From Charlton to California.
American football.
It'll be great, and it is live in just 2 days' time. Sunday, Super Bowl 60 from Santa Clara, the New England Patriots against the Seattle Seahawks. Will Gavin leading our coverage alongside Ross Tucker on Talksport. 11 o'clock start, 11 p.m. of course that is on Talksport on Sunday. We've got a massive weekend of Premier League action as well. All starts live and exclusive on Talksport tomorrow of Manchester United against Spurs at 12:30.
Now it's 4-on-2 and it's being led by Fernandes, and now it's in Burma to finish it. He does. And Manchester United lead on the breakaway.
You don't need to do anything with Michael Carrick. You need to let him continue on his journey.
Again, feet on the ground. Let's not get carried away with what's gone on, but it's about what's next again. So big challenge ahead, but we're looking forward to it.
Well, there were cheers at half-time, there were cheers at full-time, and a standing ovation for these Tottenham players, because from 2-0 down at the break, it's finished Spurs 2, Manchester City 2.
That sums Tottenham up for me. First half, not the races, and then the second half they put in a level of performance that even their fans must be scratching their heads saying, where has that come from?
The ambition is that we want to do very well and carry on with the good performances and beat Man United in 2 days' time.
Yes, it's Man United against Spurs tomorrow lunchtime on Talksport. 12:30 start as Manchester United look to continue this amazing manager bounce that they've had under Michael Carrick, a man that you know well because you played with him in the infancy of his career at West Ham.
I did. He came through the ranks. I played in his debut game against Coventry. We won 5-1 or 5-0. And do you know what? I can't remember how old he was, 17 or 18, but he played like a 27, 28-year-old. You just knew he was a Rolls Royce, and nothing fazed him. And I think he went on then to go to Spurs and then to United, and still nothing fazed him. And I actually thought that it would really work out for him at Middlesbrough, and it didn't. But sometimes they're just completely different jobs when you're in the Championship or when you're a big monster like Manchester United, and a bit like Liam Rosenior as well. People might turn around and say, well, you know, does his CV deserve the job? Liam obviously is a permanent manager, and Mickey Carrick is the manager until the end of the season. But you know what? With no midweek games, or certainly no European games, he's got time. He's got time to implement what he wants. I think Steve Holland was absolutely a sensational appointment as well. Look what he's done so far. Let's not run before we can walk, Joe, but so far so good.
Absolutely, and they'll be hoping for more against Thomas Frank's Spurs tomorrow, live on Talksport. On Talksport 2, we'll bring you Derby against Ipswich, and the lead is Coventry, Scott, against Oxford. Coventry have hit a rocky patch of late. I wonder whether that could be a trickier game for Frank Lampard than people are thinking.
Possibly, but with respect to Oxford, they're second bottom, and if that suddenly becomes a tricky game, then your mentality is a little bit fuzzled. You know, I mean, they need to be in a situation now where they were earlier in the season. We know what the Championship's like. We've seen two teams here. You know, they're finding the consistency hard. Coventry have been the best team standout, and yet, look, Look at the league table at the moment. You know, Middlesbrough can catch them, and we'll have to wait and see whether there's another team. They're looking to third, not to second, but so far, again, Frank Lampard, what a job he's done. I think he's the perfect man to try and take them up, and I do think he will do that.
Leeds 2, Nottingham Forest 0 into the second half. Over on Talksport, it's now 3-0 to Leeds United. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has scored again. So Leeds really are making ground in the relegation fight, and Forest are banging trouble as it stands. Leeds 3, Forest 0 on Talksport. Teams are ready to go here at the Valley, and Charlton kick off the second half. Charlton Athletic 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0 in a London derby live for you on Talksport 2 with myself, Joe Shannon, and the former Charlton defender, Scott Minto. Charlton from right to left in the second half towards the covered end. Red shirts, white shorts and red socks, and QPR in the familiar blue and white hooped shirts, white shorts and white socks, and they are playing from left to right towards the away end, the Jimmy Seed stand. I'll give you both 11s in just a moment, but I can tell you that there are no half-time changes that have been made by either manager. The referee a little pedantic here because he's saying that Luke Chambers has got to step back a yard or so to take a throw for Charlton that is midway inside the QPR half. Lots of Charlton fans making their way back to their seats early in the second half. Dykes pulls the ball across to the near post. Kelman with the effort, and it nearly squeezed through the gloves of the goalkeeper. He got something on it, Walsh, enough to turn it behind, but he was nearly left red-faced. It's a corner.
Brilliant play from Kelman. I mean, he just took a touch and then shot so quickly. And not only the QPR defence, but the keeper, Joe Walsh, as well, didn't look ready, did he? And he just kind of tipped it over. Don't think he was trying to catch it, just got a little bit of a touch on it, but Charlton have started the second half how they finished the first.
Charlton have been the better team so far, but it's still 0-0. Charlton have had the big chances in the game. Delivery in by Carey, header away at the near post by Isaac Hayden for Queen's Park Rangers, and the ball bounces down just shy of the halfway line. Chambers has hauled down Smith. That should be a booking, and it is going to be a booking for Luke Chambers, because if Smith had got beyond Chambers, even though he was on the halfway line, QPR might have been in for a really clear attack.
Yeah, I suppose there's a professional foul. I just thought it was two players really battling for each other, and yes, it was a foul. I'm not sure it was a yellow card, but I think the referee's done very well. He's allowed a lot of things going. There's, you know, you do see a difference in the Championship and the Premier League in terms of what the referee allows. And actually, I do think if we were playing in the Premier League, then Martin Vale may well have had a red card.
Great play by Smith. Skips away from the challenge of Clark. Heads to the dead ball line. Low ball in, turned away by Ramsey. QPR have not had a meaningful effort on target in the game so far, the playoff chasers. But it's still 0-0. Delivered in by Hayden, right-footed, and it's just over the top of Sato. Good ball in, but one bounce, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, I mean, Harvey Vale, of course, but we saw sort of pictures at half-time, and I actually thought there was nothing really in it. I thought, yeah, it was a foul, and
this is early in the first half.
Early in the first half, Connor Cody's sort of gone down, and okay, looks being caught, but the fact that he was down, Connor Cody as well, the character that we know that he is, then I think, you know, red card. Commits serious foul play, a serious or dangerous foul, and I think it could be seen as that. So Harvey Vale may be lucky that he's still on the pitch.
Just a booking early in the first half for Vale. We're early in the second now on Talksport 2. 3 minutes have been played. Charlton Athletic 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0, but not for the want of trying. Smith tries to elude Ramsey, goes back to Norrington Davis, just inside the Charlton half. They look a bit brighter in this second half, QPR. Smith heading for the corner flag. Can he whip it across? Ramsey lunges in, makes a good challenge at the expense of a QPR corner. And across goes Madsen to take it in front of 3,000 travelling fans who've made the short trip from the west of the capital to the southeast for this London derby. And Jimmy Dunn's going to go across and have a word with Madsen. It'll be interesting to see if what's being said translates to what happens on the field. Charlton have brought everybody back, and we've had some good aerial battles in this game, Scott.
Yeah, we certainly have, and it's been Charlton very much on the front foot, especially the last 30 minutes of the first half, the first couple of minutes of the second. But the sign of a good team, go down the other end when you've been under pressure and somehow find a way to score a goal.
Edwards, Dunn and Cook are all forward, delivered in high by Madsen. Edwards glances it on and away from goal. Cook will get to it down by the dead ball line. Close to the corner flag, he's played it back to Sato, led with the edge of the penalty area. Now Norrington Davis with the reverse ball in, cleared away on the volley by Ramsey. Drops down to Madsen again. Floated ball into the box, headed across by Dunn towards Kone. Couldn't bring it down. Shot from the edge of the penalty area, charged down. Now Dunn, edge of the D, plays it backwards, hit by Madsen, right-footed. Blocked by Carey, no handball. Cook on the half volley, way over the top. 0-0, 5 minutes into the second half. Very competitive, just as the first half was, but QPR look like they've had a rocket at half-time, Scott.
Yeah, and look, don't forget the first sort of minute or two, Charlton were very much on the front foot again, but I think QPR, I think Julian Stefan has told them, look, we can't be so passive as we were in the first half. By the way, if Steve Cook had scored from there, I'd have given man of the match there and then.
Man of the year. So 0-0. Kaminski takes the goal kick, the Charlton keeper. Ramsey, Jones and Bell, the centre halves. Clark and Chambers are the wing backs. Doherty and Cody in the middle, with Carey in support of Dykes and Kelman up front. Charlton, who were promoted at the end of last season from League One. QPR go long up towards the centre forward, Richard Kone, beaten in the air by Jones. No foul given by referee Bell. One back by Vale, high up the pitch. Kone's touch into the path of Hayden. Back towards Kone, only half away. Kone spins, turns and shoots low and drags it wide. Certainly worked a good angle for the shot there, Richard Kone. And they're roaring behind the goal to the right, the QPR fans, because they see that their team have come out to play in the second half.
Yeah, it's a packed away end, isn't it? And everyone was clapping Richard Kone there. And that's what I was talking about. You asked, is he not been good enough or not been given the service? I don't think he's been given the service. He was there on the edge of the box. He still had a lot of work to do, but he found the way to get a shot off. In the end, it was wide, but still really good play from him just to get that initial shot off. And yeah, we definitely have a game on our hands, don't we?
Walsh is in goal for QPR, made the one outstanding save in the game in the first half to deny Cody. Edwards, Dunn, Cook and Norrington Davis in the back four. Hayden and Madsen holding. Sato, Vale and Smith in support of Kone. Both benches unused so far for Charlton. Mannion, Gillespie, Coventry, Campbell, Berry, Godden, Rankin Costello, Sichenji and Fevrier. I'll give you the QPR bench in a moment. They are under a little bit of pressure as they look to play out of the defensive third, and Edwards has given it away. Good pressure by Charlton Athletic high up the field. Dykes in a tangle with Dunn. Was he fouled? Well, the Charlton fans thought so. The referee thought otherwise, and now the ball is out of play right in front of the Charlton boss, Nathan Jones, and his assistant Curtis Fleming. It's a Charlton throw and a typical championship battle underway at the moment here on Talksport 2, 7 minutes into the second half.
And you know what? Let's give the officials a lot of praise here. Both the referee and the referee's assistant. Wasn't a foul on the touchline. Play on.
They're letting the right things go, aren't they? It's a proper tussle, this one. Kone beaten to it by Jones on the halfway line. Nudged forward, high up into the dark sky by Doherty. Kelman has brought it down. Left wing position. Now, was he wrestled off it by Dunn? Again, the referee says no. Firm challenge, but a fair one, according to James Bell. And QPR can't smuggle it away from danger. Back with Bell on the halfway line to the feet of Jones. The QPR bench, Hamer, Adamson, Morgan, Benny, Colley, Mbenge, Esquerdinha, Smith and Alameu. Now the noise levels are ramping up at the Valley here in southeast London. Jones with mud on the back of his red shirt. Forward ball to Ramsey. Out wide to the right-hand side where it's played back by Clark. Shuffled forward by Jones. Well controlled by Carey. Hugging the right-hand touchline. Early ball to Kelman. Kelman close to the edge of the area. Back to Doherty. Wide left. Chambers in a shooting position. Good save by the goalkeeper. Beat it away at the near post. A save you'd expect him to make. Can QPR counter? Madsen. Midway inside his own half. Early ball hit over the top, and that's going to trickle harmlessly out of play. Another decent save by Walsh, Scott Minter.
Yeah, absolutely. That means a really poor ball from Madsen. There was a chance to play to counter after that chance from Charlton, and he just held on to it, and then he played the ball far too long. But absolutely really good play from Charlton, going from right to left, I wonder whether Luke Chambers was going to try and whip the ball across the box. He ended up having a shot, and you're absolutely right, it's a save that Joe Walsh should be making, but still, it was a very good save indeed.
Well, he had quite the introduction to life at Charlton Athletic, did Luke Chambers. That Derby day drubbing by Millwall, and Nathan Jones said that they treated that game like a day in the sun. It's been very different for Charlton since then. A good response to that 4-0 defeat. And QPR yet to really pick up where they left off against Coventry last weekend. But Kone is down and receiving treatment. Both managers have called over one or two of the players to the near side touchline. We are level with the QPR dugout, and Julian Stefan is issuing instructions to both Hayden and Smith at the moment. Jimmy Dunn has come over to the near side as well. A steep drop to the touchline below. Nathan Jones prowling around as ever. Charlton Athletic 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Kone's back on his feet. I have to say, Scott Minto, even though there hasn't been a goal, I've really enjoyed this. The energy and the physical contribution that both teams have put into the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is what the Championship is all about. You know, it hasn't quite got the quality of the Premier League, but they're giving it absolutely everything. They're having really good defending, hard work in midfield. There's decent play up front. They're trying to whip the balls in. Set pieces, like the Premier League, I suppose, are playing a big part. And actually, the officials are playing really well as well. They're allowing the game to be free-flowing. You know, it may be 0-0, but it's a really interesting game to watch.
Kone's gone off for a moment. QPR temporarily down to 10. Charlton have the ball. High crossfield ball pumped into the area by Ramsey. Dykes! Good save again! And Dykes can't poke the rebound in. He got the last touch, got ahead of Dunn. Maybe just enough pressure by the QPR defender to put off Dykes. Simple long ball upfield by Ramsey. The header misjudged by Edwards. Dykes was in. Again Walsh denies Charlton, and again Dykes can't convert the rebound.
Yeah, look, I mean, he's unlucky in many ways. He's in the right place at the right time. You're right, there's a mistake from Edwards. It's a decent save from Walsh, but it comes back out, and he doesn't quite get there first, does he? Which then stabs it into the side netting. What a wonderful opportunity, very much like the Connor Cody one, where you're thinking suddenly the QPR defence has been breached. Can you take advantage of that? And in the end, Lyndon Dykes wasn't quite able to do that. QPR lived to fight another day.
Oh, their new front man is being treated at the moment inside the penalty area, and the Matty Godden chant is ringing around the valley. Godden again. I wonder whether we'll see Matty Godden. I would think, certainly if it stays 0-0,
we will.
It won't be too long. But QPR are going to make the first change of the game here, and it's Daniel Benny who is going to replace Koki Sato. Benny, 19 years of age, the Australian, has only ever scored once for Queen's Park Rangers, the former Perth Glory player. And on he comes as QPR make the first change of the game. Dykes is back on his feet and off the field for a moment. Long it goes by Walsh, thundered high down the middle. Kone goes up for the header, beaten to it once again by Lloyd Jones. It's just like his last appearance on this ground with Wycombe Wanderers, Richard Kone. He's getting absolutely nothing out of Jones at the back for Charlton, who come forward now on the counter-attack. Out on the right-hand side is Kelman. They're still down to 10 here, Charlton. They still want to get Dykes back on. He is back on, but they've gone backwards to halfway, and then a poor crossfield ball by Kane Ramsey. Gets away with it. The ball bounces off Benny and straight to the feet of Amari Bell. Chambers from halfway again launches it up to Dykes. Header away by Cook yet again. The flick on by Hayden, and then Vale for QPR. Very watchable game this. Vale in the centre circle. We're heading towards the hour mark, and it's still goalless on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Derby against Ipswich and Coventry against Oxford. Two big games live in the Championship for you back-to-back tomorrow afternoon on Talksport 2. Manchester United against Spurs is on Talksport, so make sure you download our free app, and then you can swipe between both stations as and when you need to. Header away by Chambers again as the ball was pumped high towards Benny. Backwards goes Edwards to the feet of Hayden. Hayden is midway inside the Charlton half, trying to work an angle for a cross. Back to Edwards again. QPR at walking pace here. Vale with a clever flick. Benny's ball back towards him is not a good one. Charlton clear. There was no foul on Vale. Here is Kelman away on the right-hand side. Carey and Clark making runs in support. Looks for Carey. Right edge of the area. Double deflection on the cross. Goal kick.
Yeah, unlucky. Really good play from Sonny Carey there. He gets the ball. He plays quite early to Charlie Kelman. Then he carries on his run. Kelman sort of plays him in, but he's just trying to whip the ball across the 6-yard box, and in the end it's come off the QPR defender, then him, and then a goal kick. But yeah, it's a really intriguing game. I mean, QPR, they've been better in the second half, but they still haven't shown the type of football that we know they're capable of. And if a team wants to get into the playoffs, to be able to control the tempo of the game. So I would still say it looks like one goal will win this, and at the moment that will come from Charlton, but all the time it's 0-0. QPR very much in this game.
Scott Minto, the former Charlton defender, with us, and we learnt in the first half for 7 days once of Queen's Park Rangers as well. And Norrington Davis for QPR, their left back today. Blocked off by Ramsey. The loose ball drops to the left corner of the penalty area. Smith goes down. Referee's allowed the game to go on. I don't think he was going to give a free kick, James Bell. With his back to goal is Kone trying to twist away from Cody. And Kone out wide to Madsen, and now Smith back up on his feet, still nursing that injury. Took a real blow from Ramsey there, did Smith. Play goes on with QPR from left to right in the second half. 4 points off the playoffs at the start of the evening, QPR. A win closes the gap to 1. Madsen from distance. Shot cannons against the head of Doherty. And away. Now Carey hooks it over his shoulder up towards the halfway line. Kelman does well to bring it down and win a throw against his old team. I tell you what, Scott, I can't call this. Could go either way.
No, absolutely. I mean, Charlton have been the better side, but you know, you do feel even just then when Nicholas Madsen got sort of 20 yards out, was able to get the shot, and a really good block from Greg Doherty. You know, QPR very much in this game, but really good play from Charlie Kelman there. He had 3 QPR defenders around him when the ball came to him. He found a way to just deflect it off one of the defenders and have the ball, and now they've got control of the ball again.
And 3, the magic number for Leeds United tonight, leading Nottingham Forest by 3-0 on Talksport this evening. And Norrington Davis having to smuggle the ball out of play for a Charlton throw. This will go in long from Carey. Norrington Davis was under pressure. It'll be a long throw into the box from about level with the 6-yard area. Close to the corner flag. Jones is forward, Dykes is forward, Cody, Ramsey, Kelman all there. Plenty of aerial threat in red. Long to the near post. Dykes flicks it on. Only half away! And Ramsey over the bar, first time left-footed.
Well, he's much better defending than he is trying to score. We could see there, just leaning back as the ball came to him. But again, the set piece is so difficult to defend against, especially here at the Valley. And as the ball comes in, it's come back to him. He's leaning back on his left foot. Doesn't get it on target. It's another. Well, it's a good opportunity, isn't it? It's more than half a chance.
I'm making notes of the chances, Scott, as we go, and I've got a big column full of Charlton chances. Nothing for QPR, but it's still 0-0. And maybe as the game grows on, QPR will grow into it and they'll feel maybe they can nick it. It might just be that 1 goal is enough to win this London derby. The ball is on the halfway line in Charlton's possession. Chambers plays it backwards, about 15 yards to Bell. Square ball to Jones. Across the back 3 they go. Ramsey. Oh, with a muddled back pass. Kone might get there. Good goalkeeping. Kaminsky off his line quickly to clear. Ramsey nearly in a real mess, and Thomas Kaminsky might be hurt.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's worth it though, the way he came out. I don't know what he's done.
Left foot, isn't it?
Yeah,
the standing foot.
I don't know if he twisted his ankle or maybe just sort of tweaked his calf, because boy did he have to sprint out, by the way. Richard Kone is the last thing you want, going almost a 50-50, and he got there just first, but as soon as he sort of slid, tackled and kicked it out. He put his hand up in the air, and it looks like he's going to be receiving a bit of treatment for a little bit longer.
It is the left ankle. Two Charlton physios either side of Kaminski. I'm sure they'll have sent the reserve goalkeeper Will Mannion to go and warm up. I can't see any sign of a change for Charlton just yet. More than 21,000 here this evening at the Valley. Another big crowd, not that far off capacity. There might be an injury though for Charlton's goalkeeper Kaminski here. He raced out, beat Kone to the ball quite clearly, but did he twist his left ankle in the process somehow? That's the question.
Didn't we sort of finish the first half quite late and start the second half quite late? I mean,
we did.
We're going to be here till midnight, aren't we?
It's a long one, isn't it? There'll be quite a bit of added time at the end of this game, and look, we've still got over 20 minutes to go. Leeds 3, Forest 0. The other important scoreline elsewhere tonight, live on Talksport. And as well as our live football commentaries this weekend, we've got boxing tomorrow from Liverpool. Nick Ball against Brandon Figueroa, and Super Bowl 60 as we previewed at half-time on Sunday. Now Kaminski's on his feet, and I think he's going to be okay to carry on. Charlton's number one all in green, but QPR would do well to test the goalkeeper here. It's going to be Paul Smith to take a long throw. Plenty forward in the blue and white hoop shirts of QPR. Smith winding up to hurl this one in long. Kaminski standing just in front of his goal line. Looks like he's going to try and come for this, the goalkeeper. Stays on his line, flicked on at the near post. Kone back to goal, can't get the shot in. Cleared away, only half away by Charlton. Comes back out to Smith from the angle he shoots, and the ball spirals up into the sky. Blocked by Bell, and out of play for another throw to Queen's Park Rangers. 0-0 it remains.
It's a bit like a boxing match now, isn't it? Where, one sort of slugging it out, the other's on the ropes, and then suddenly the other one comes back now. And what can QPR produce?
A short throw by Smith this time, and in the crossing position is Edwards. Lays it out to Smith, who delivers, and the diving header by Jones goes behind. I think he's saying he should have had a shout that he could have cleared that away from goal. Looked like a miscued header maybe by Jones.
Yeah,
corner.
Look, he's a brilliant defender for Charlton, and he's really commanding, but yeah, that was a bit of a 50-pence piece header.
So a corner to QPR. One of their best spells of the game. 3,000 travelling fans behind the goal. Expectant here, live on Talksport 2, that maybe it's QPR who can take the lead in the race for the playoffs. Madsen is standing over it. It'll be right-footed and out-swinging into the near post and headed wide by Benny, the substitute, with his first meaningful touch, and it's over.
Well, you said it to me about 10 minutes ago, and I'll reiterate it. I've got no clue what's going to happen here.
Nope.
I mean, the way it's gone, the odds are suggesting it may well just be 0-0, and it'd be, for me, a pretty entertaining 0-0 draw as well, but yeah, I said it in the first half, and I'm definitely thinking it now. The next goal wins this.
And here is Kelman, away down the right-hand side. Cook gets there in front of him to clear. Good short pass to Norrington Davis, who'll fire it upfield. Kone with an attempted flick layoff, and Kone has won it back, retrieved the ball 10 yards from the halfway line. 22 minutes to go. So we are into the final quarter of the 90 on Talksport 2. Away on the left is Norrington Davis. Smith takes over possession infield, and the shot was on for Edwards, but he lays it square to Hayden. Hayden works it back out wide. Norrington Davis back to Hayden again. Hayden delivers high right-footed, and that's easy for Kaminski to come out and claim, showing no ill effects from that injury earlier on. Kaminski, as he volleys the ball downfield. Suddenly it's 2 against 2. Dykes with a flick on up the middle, but Kelman can't get to it. Well, maybe it'll take the introduction of one of the many substitutes to spark either team into a goal here. Certainly plenty of life in both teams. Smith into the area for QPR. Out comes Kaminski again, and he gets there first, with a bit of help from Kane Ramsey as well, actually, in that challenge with Smith. But Charlton can't get out. Clark manages to win a throw. Suddenly it's Queen's Park Rangers who perhaps look more likely to score, Scott Minter.
That's what I mean. We're in about, round 7 or 8, and now QPR are slugging at them. And look, I'm not surprised. You just said about maybe some substitutions, and I mentioned him earlier. It's brilliant that he's back fit again, and I think we would see him on the pitch. I'm not surprised at all to see Matty Godden coming on now.
Well, they're on their feet at the Valley to welcome on Matty Godden. Just his 5th appearance of the season because of the injury that he's had. On he comes, looked very bright against Leicester last weekend off the bench, looking for his first goal since scoring the winner in last season's playoff semi-final. With 20 minutes to go, Charlton 0, QPR 0, and Godden is onto the field. What can he do? Dykes, quick throw. Godden chasing it right away on that far side, the right, hugging the touchline, and he's flicked the ball down the right cleverly. The covered end gets to its feet as Carey tries to work the angle for the cross, but Hayden was back there, and QPR win it back. Here is Edwards carrying the ball forward and nudging the pass over the halfway line. Kone chasing it. A hopeful ball, well retrieved by Bell in front of Kone. Defence is on top. Jones clears long for Charlton. A very even game now. Did that? Yes, it was a foul by Dunn through the back of Dykes. Referee spotted it very early. Free kick Charlton just shy of halfway. Well, Matty Godden will give Charlton a different dimension, and he's certainly lifted the home crowd, Scott.
Yeah, he definitely has. I think he was just superb last season. As you say, he scored that winning goal in the semi-final of the League One playoffs. In a game really where Wycombe were just playing for almost penalties from the first leg, and he was the one who found a way to open it. Scored lots of goals. He was their superstar last season, along with Lloyd Jones at the back, and to see him fit is a big plus point. I'm just talking about how we really enjoy the referee allowing things to go on. Jimmy Dunn not happy with that challenge being pulled back. I mean, that definitely was a foul.
Kaminski has floated the free kick long, and I tell you what, it took a bounce, and Ward just about gathered into his chest. Walsh, the goalkeeper, clears long upfield at the other end, but across comes Bell to win it back very authoritatively for Charlton Athletic. Bell left of the 3 centre-halves. Carey carries it forward over the halfway line. 18 minutes left, 0-0. Carey surging forward. This is Talksport 2. Carey tries the cross and it's blocked. Bounces down midway inside the QPR half. Richard Kone has held it up well. Played a good reverse ball towards Vale. Vale left-hand edge of the penalty area. No one in support. Goes alone and fires it over the top. Never really looked convincing there, Harvey Vale. Racing down the inside left. Angle was against him, and he can't test Kaminski.
No, well, it was really good defending actually from Amari Bell, because he didn't engage too much. He realised that if he did and he went past him, then suddenly Vale's got a one-on-one. So he just stayed off him just a couple of yards and said, go on then, shoot. There'll be some shot to beat Thomas Kaminski from there. He didn't even get it on target. It just goes to show that QPR can be dangerous on the counter.
I think Julian Stefan feels they should have had a free kick earlier on in the move, which might have been a better option for them potentially. Vale never looked likely to score. There is lots of activity on the sidelines in terms of players warming up, but no sign of any imminent further changes just yet in an enjoyable game at the Valley. Charlton Athletic 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0 on Talksport 2. Both these clubs at relatively recent stages. QPR, of course, much more recently were in the Premier League. Been a long time for Charlton, I suppose, 2007. So nearly 20 years out of the top flight. That's gone quickly. Edwards over the halfway line for QPR. Inside right, skips out towards the near side touchline. Benny, socks rolled halfway down his shins, plays it backwards to Dunn. And QPR keep possession. Dunn strokes the ball out to the left. And Norrington Davis back to Cook. Is it fair to say, Scott, it's been a much more even second half?
Yeah, I think so. I think QPR have sort of joined the party, really, haven't they? I'm sure Julian Stefan would have been saying, come on, we cannot be so passive as we were in that first half. Certainly the last 30 minutes of the first half. And as I say, it's been a really good watch.
Fired long by Norrington Davis. A fight ball here for Smith against Ramsey. And Smith adjudged, I thought, harshly to have fouled Ramsey. Yes, there's some grappling, but it looked like it was between both of them. And Smith is not exactly the tallest, most physical player on the pitch, and the QPR fans furious with that decision, but you could almost see it coming.
Well, it's right in front of the QPR fans. You wouldn't expect them to react any other way, even if it was a foul, which it was.
Another Charlton change on the way. Tyrese Campbell, and off goes Chambers, who's not been quite able to get into the same testing positions as in the first half, but he did have one good effort saved by the goalkeeper. Still 0-0 as Campbell, who was a key part of the Charlton effort last season, comes on. South Londoner, born in Southwark, and here he is straight away on the left-hand side, taking on Edwards in a one-on-one and whipping in a lovely cross. Carey over the top on the half volley. Well, what an introduction from Campbell. He nearly set up the opening goal.
Well, it's a very attacking substitution. I do like Luke Chambers. He's got a really nice left foot, good balance. He can defend, he can also attack, but Tyrese Campbell is pretty much an out-and-out winger, if not a forward. He has played this season in that left wing-back position. I personally don't like to see him there from a defensive point of view, so Amari Bell needs to be talking to him a lot, and actually from QPR they need to try and take him the other way and try and take him on one-on-one, because he's not a defender. In terms of going forward, shows that Nathan Jones is going for all 3 points.
Less than 15 minutes to go. It's looking like it's all over Leland Road, with Leeds 3-0 up against Nottingham Forest. A much closer encounter here. Off goes Paul Smith for QPR. Suddenly the changes are happening at a greater pace, and Ryan Colley, the Algerian youth international who has come through the QPR youth system, is going to come on. Another young substitute, still only 20, Colley. Long curly hair. Something a little different for QPR in the wing position for Charlton to think about now, but they have designs on winning this game, Charlton Athletic, though Bell has given the ball away. Colley's first touch, centre circle, little flick by Vale, good interception by Doherty, and he was caught by Benny while tracking back. Referee gave the free kick and won't let Charlton take it quickly because Doherty is still on the ground. Hard to say, isn't it, Scott Minto, where a potential winner is coming from. Maybe you'd say Charlton have still created the better chances. Can't really think of what you'd call a big chance, a clear-cut chance for QPR.
No, I mean, if this was a boxing match, then Charlton would win it on points if it stayed like this. But, you know, QPR, if they can keep a clean sheet, it's a really hard-earned point. Wouldn't be a bad one at all.
Floated ball downfield, high by Ramsey, flicked on into the penalty area by Dykes, headed away by Benny. Good flick that by Dykes, absolutely tireless on the attack. He's knocked it wide left to Campbell. Again, the Charlton fans get to their feet behind the goal. Campbell trying to scamper beyond Benny, forgets to take the ball with him, but Bell is there to win it back. No foul by Benny. Throw to QPR in their right back position on the near side of the field.
Again, I'm looking at the stats and just refreshing to make sure it's up to date. But I make it QPR haven't had a shot on target still.
Yeah, you're right. No meaningful shot on target, and probably the Harvey Vale effort as close as they've come, but that was clean as a whistle over the bar. Little flick by Dunn back to goalkeeper Walsh, and a quick throw over arm out to the left-hand side of Norrington Davis. A poor return ball to him by Colley, who's just come on, but it is retrieved by Madsen. So QPR from left to right in their blue and white hooped shirts keep possession. Red and white against blue and white here tonight. And QPR with Jimmy Dunn meandering into the centre circle, back to Cook. Cook with a precise right-footed ball out to the near side, and Edwards. Then it's tucked back infield by Vale, but Doherty quick on the press with Hayden. QPR have to go backwards. Dunn trying to race forward with it to halfway, but he's blocked off by Godden. I think it would be very harsh on Charlton if they were to lose this game. But there is a lot of jeopardy in it still, with 11 minutes to go and still waiting for that opening goal on Talksport 2. Edwards on the near side, the right, quite cagey at the moment. And both teams aware that time is ticking away. Kone's held it up, but he's given it straight to Campbell. Campbell has given it away. Vale, Kone, right corner of the penalty area. Kone with a chance to cross left-footed, or perhaps on his right side. He does deliver with his left foot. Headed away by Jones. Bounces out to Madsen. Hayden, Kone from the angle with a curling shot, and it is gathered by Kaminski. And after 80 minutes, QPR have had an effort on target.
Yeah, look, I like Richard Kone. You can see there's a player there. He's still very raw. It's an amazing backstory he's got. He's got skill, he's got strength, he's got pace. It was a tired looking shot in the end there, wasn't it?
Yeah, the former Wycombe man who was at Newham Athletic, wasn't he? In non-league. And discovered by Wycombe Wanderers, did very well there and made the move to West London. 0-0. We are into the last 10 minutes. There'll be quite a bit of added time, you would think, at the end of this game too. Colley, infield from the left-hand side, shuffling infield, plays it back to Hayden. Well, Scott Minto, QPR suddenly with a turn to enjoy the possession and maybe create the chance that this game needs. One goal will do it, won't it, I think?
Yeah, I think for a long time we've been saying one goal wins this. The question is, where you asked earlier, where does it come from? I think if you're QPR, I think Richard Kone just comes up with something, half a yard, bang, goal. Maybe Charlton a set piece.
Godden at the other end. He can't get on the end of the long ball. Thundered up high towards him. Dunn in it, was able to shepherd it away from him. And now QPR over the halfway line with Colley. Colley has got options right and left. He goes square to Madsen, angled ball to the right. Benny in a crossing position, attacking the edge of the area, looks for Kone, back to goal. Madsen with a low shot, straight at Kaminski again. No power behind it again, but good build-up play from QPR.
Yeah, it was, and they're coming back into it now, aren't they? You know, Charlton are really trying to go for that winner. As you can see with the substitution, Tyrese Campbell's given the ball away a couple of times. Looks dangerous when he's in QPR's half. Looks dangerous to Charlton when he's in Charlton's half, but QPR still feeling maybe they can do a bit of a smash and grab. Charlton, well, they want to try and get all 3 points. I've been impressed by Charlton tonight. Talk about will they go down, and look, nothing will be decided whatever happens here tonight, but if they play like this, they will not. I just feel for QPR, again, the question is, can they get into the playoffs? I think it's going to be a bit too much. And no one really believed that would happen at the start of the season anyway. Where they are, just even us talking about it, I think shows there is progress, and that's what the fans want.
This part of a run of 3 straight home games for Charlton. Stoke here next Wednesday, and then a big game at home to Portsmouth. Charlton are going to move 4 points clear of the relegation zone. QPR will be 3 points adrift of the playoffs. Nobody's really moving a muscle at the Valley just yet. We've got 7 minutes to go, plus added time. Charlton 0, QPR 0. Campbell, infield from the left, playing it back to Amari Bell. Bell takes the ball into QPR territory and was faced up by Benny, nudges it back out wide to Campbell again. Campbell infield from the left-hand side, square pass to Cody. Not seen a lot of Connor Cody in the second half, really. Still bandaged up after that challenge in the first half by Vale, who gave it away just now to Campbell. Turns it round the corner into the path of Doherty. 35 yards out is Carey. Opens up for the shot, and he smashes it high over the bar and into the covered end. Well, it was there for Sonny Carey, even from a long way out, but no dice, and Charlton still can't find the goal they crave.
No, and look, you know, I don't want to give him too much stick really, because I think he's had an excellent game. He's been one of the best players on the park, and whenever he gets the ball, it looks like something's about to happen, but it's 25 yards out, and if you are going to shoot from there, and Harry Clark is bombing down the right, screaming for the ball, have to at least hit the target.
And Nottingham Forest have got a goal back at Leeds through Lorenzo Luca. 3-1 to Leeds at Elland Road. Live on Talksport for the closing stages. Talksport will bring you And Manchester United against Spurs tomorrow lunchtime from the Premier League. Here in the Championship, QPR come forward with Collier way down the left. Just over 5 minutes to go. Collier with a cross-come shot, and that's swirling over the top of the bar. Now, I'm sure Collier meant to cross that, Scott. I can't think that he was genuinely going for goal, and it's ended up out of play for a goal kick.
I think what we've got here are two teams who have given it absolutely everything, and even to the end, you know, the mentality is strong from both sides, but just now the physical side of it is just starting to let them down, and that final ball, that bit of concentration, whether it's a shot or a cross, just being overplayed, and that's what happens when you're tired, but completely understandably so.
Well, not a lot of time left for a winning goal. Header away by Jones from midway inside his own half for Charlton. Thundered back upfield by Hayden. Jones is there to beat Kone to it again. Great performances from both sets of centre-halves, you'd have to say, in this game. Maybe Cook and Jones, the two number 5s, have had the biggest influence. Out on the right for Charlton is Harry Clark. Corner flag, pulls in the cross. Dykes went near post. And there, right on cue, a centre-half, Jimmy Dunn, to head it behind for a corner.
Yeah, the two of them have been brilliant. Talked a lot about Steve Kirken. He was sensational in the first half. Jimmy Dunn's been brilliant. I mean, you've got to give so much credit to this Charlton side. They don't look like a side that's relegation threatened, but then you've also got to give credit to this QPR defence for holding them out so far.
Well, here comes the corner from Campbell. He's taken it short. Clark, right corner of the penalty area, cuts it back to Carey, who balloons the first time shot even higher over the bar than the previous one a couple of minutes ago. That one soared so high I thought it was going to make the upper tier.
Well, if you put another goal on top of the goal, it still wouldn't have gone hit in the net. But I like Sonny Carey. I think he's a really good player, and he's one of these ones who's got character. He's got courage. You know, the way the ball's coming across to him, that's going to be some strike and to score from there. Maybe he should have just taken a touch and dinked it in. He's 20-25 yards out. I'll hit it first time.
Good flick by Dykes, looking for Godden. That's got Dunn on the turn. Dunn hacks it clear for Queen's Park Rangers, who are now on the counter-attack with Benny. Benny up the middle from the right-hand side. He goes square to Reece Norrington-Davis. We're in the 87th minute. 0-0 on Talksport 2. Colley, corner of the penalty area, tries a cross, reverse ball. It's blocked. It'll come out to Madsen. There's a Charlton player down inside the penalty area, and the referee has stopped the game. Now, is that Doherty? We'll wait to see as he slowly gets up. It is Doherty. Here come the Charlton physios. So Doherty might have to go off here temporarily. I have to say, Scott, I didn't see what happened. It was certainly off the ball.
No, I didn't see it either. I just wonder whether he sort of twisted his ankle. But, I mean, look, it's a bit more of a dangerous position with him being just outside the 6-yard box. But saw it early in the first half. I didn't say anything when a QPR player went down, and I think it was Isaac Hayden. Remember when he had that thing in the stomach? Yeah. I don't know. I don't like it unless it's a head injury. I don't like referee stopping the game. Just play on. If the guy's gone down, play on. I mean, so in a way, I understand where the QPR fans are coming from, but something similar happened in the first half where Hayden was down and the referee stopped it there.
At least he's showing consistency.
Yes, true.
But
although I don't think either should have been stopped.
No. Should have shown consistency in a different way, maybe. Doherty's still off the field.
Let's not give him too much stick, though. I think he's had a brilliant game refereeing this.
Yep. Without VAR. Who needs it?
Well, yeah. But now you've put it in my head about
the challenge from Vale.
Yes.
Vale, long ball towards him, and Vale spins and turns, lays it back to Kone. Lunging challenge by Cody, does enough to get it clear. Charlton still temporarily down to 10. Into the last 90 seconds of normal time, and it's still 0-0. Campbell chests it down on halfway for Charlton. Is there going to be a late winner here? Again, very few have left the valley as Doherty comes back on. Charlton go long, and Edwards had hold of the shirt of Godden inside the area, cleared away. Now Campbell, left wing position. Campbell scampering infield, then back onto the left foot. Chance to deliver the cross, and it hits Edwards and goes out of play. Was that a penalty, Scott Minter?
I don't think it was. I think if it had been resting a little bit more and if Edwards hadn't have headed the ball away and Matty Godden brought it down, then perhaps it would have been, but I think he was just on the right side of the law.
Well, Belly's going to take a long throw here once again. Lloyd Jones, Connor Cody, both forward. You can see Harry Clark at the back post as well. Godden's in front of the keeper. Long throw aimed at Dykes, who I thought threw himself to ground really under pressure from Benny. And it's a goal kick. Luke Berry is going to come on for Charlton in a few moments as we head towards stoppage time, and it's a straight swap in midfield for Doherty.
Yeah, I wonder whether Doherty, just with him going down, just looking a little bit tired. He's putting in a brilliant performance. I'm slightly surprised he hasn't been playing of late, but the last couple of games he has, and that's why he's a very important member of this Charlton side.
8 added minutes, Scott.
Referee doesn't want to go home, does he?
Well, it's been an entertaining London derby. I don't know how we haven't had goals in another day. Maybe there could have been 2 or 3. 8 added minutes, 0-0. Still time, more than enough time for a winner at either end. Away on the right-hand side for QPR. Benny whips in the cross. It's over the head of Kone, flashed over his head. Colley will keep it in. Away on the opposite wing, the far side, the left. Square ball to Madsen. Thrilling end to this championship game here under the lights. Cook is a long way out, and he can't shoot from 40-50 yards. Now Dunn will knock it left to Colley. Midway inside the Charlton half. Charlton with almost everybody back behind the ball. Ronnie Edwards from a long way out. Nudges it wide to Benny. Benny's cross wins a corner off Campbell.
Well, this really would be a smash and grab if QPR are able to do it, but if they are going to get into the playoffs come the end of the season, these are the type of moments that you need to turn draws into wins and come away and say, doesn't matter about the performance, we defended well and we nicked it down the other end. Charlton, on the other hand, must stay concentrated.
Madsen will take the corner. Is there going to be late joy for the travelling hordes from West London? Madsen, right-footed, in towards Cook! Over the top. Only by a yard or so. QPR's best effort of the game.
Yeah, it probably was, wasn't it? Great little ping from Vale from the corner. And Cook gets there. It's a difficult header because he's almost coming back on it. He doesn't get it on target in the end. And Kaminsky just realises it's over, but he has to dive just to make sure.
Well, you wouldn't call it a thumping header, maybe more like a bullet header, if we're going to be really specific about the definition.
Well, that is specific. What's the difference between the two?
Flick down the middle towards Godden. Cook with the back header, and he gets enough on that to send it back to Joe Walsh. What a performance. Steve Cook has rolled back the years tonight for QPR, I think.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. And QPR have been a bit flaky away from home. It's surprising when you watch them, how they defend.
5.5 minutes of the 8 added remain. Charlton Athletic 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0. So we're 2.5 minutes into stoppage time. 8 added, remember. Carey on halfway, back to Cody, square to Bell. Now, at what point does Nathan Jones think this is a useful point in our fight against relegation? The Charlton manager. Do they commit men forward? They're on the defensive here. Madsen tearing up the middle square. Colley is in! What a save! Kaminsky got there somehow. And he's hurt here, Kaminsky. Collided with by Colley. The substitute should have won it in the 94th minute. But Kaminsky somehow makes the save.
Well, that was every bit as good, if not better, but let's say the same, as that save in the first half from Joe Walsh. Wow, an attack where Tyrese Campbell's tried to sort of let it go. QPR defended it well, got the ball forward. Really good attack from Madsen, and he sees him first time. He just plays in Coley. Kaminsky comes out so quickly, he's so brave. It's an absolutely brilliant save, because that was going to be the one goal that wins it.
Halfway through the 8 added, and it's QPR finishing the stronger. Can they snatch a winner? What a save, Kaminsky back on his feet now. In by Madsen from the corner, done with the header, and off the line. Kone got the final touch, cleared away by Lyndon Dykes. QPR could hardly have come closer. Initial header by Dunn hit Kone. They're still up there, QPR. It's long towards Dunn again. Oh, he's gone down in the area. I thought he looked like he went down looking for it under the challenge of Carey, and the referee thought so as well. No penalty.
Another brilliant decision from the referee. He's complaining he's got caught. There's no way that was a penalty. How well have QPR done just in the last couple of minutes to turn it around and look like they might go on and get the winner. Lyndon Dykes with the clearance off the line. Brilliant save there as well from Kaminski. And a possible penalty, but it never was. But you never know, sometimes referees can just get caught up in it.
Well, you mentioned Richard Kone, Scott, and he was unlucky, wasn't he? It was a very clever flick on the end of Dunn's header, and it nearly led to a goal, and there still is the chance on here for QPR. 3 minutes of added time to go. We've already played 5. Long from Cook, flicked on by Madsen. Kone on the edge of the box, can't sort his feet out. Madsen can. Left corner of the area, taking on Luke Berry. Madsen to swing it in. It hits Berry, cleared away. Now the counter is on for Charlton. Carey carrying it forward, surging over the halfway line. Twisting away from Norrington Davis, but losing out in midfield. It's QPR who look the more likely. Colley collects the ball, tripped from behind by Clark. Free kick, that'll be a yellow card. Is it too far away for a shot? Maybe it is, Scott Minter.
Maybe, maybe not. A definite foul for sure. I mean, first of all, Sonny Carey, I mean, the guy's got so much energy in him. The engine is just unbelievable, but in the end he gets caught by 3 QPR players. Suddenly Coley gets the ball and he's running him. Harry Clark is knackered. He's got no, I'm bringing you down. And yeah, it's probably, 35 yards out? I mean, you could have a pop. I don't think they will. Well, you've definitely got to hit the target if you do. I'd imagine a little float to the far post.
2 added minutes to go. Harvey Vale is over it. 2 in the Charlton wall. 35 yards out. Vale square to Madsen. Low ball. Madsen dinks the ball into the area. Header across by Colley. That's going to drift wide. Goal kick given. What a game this has been. For a 0-0, the atmosphere and the feel of the game has had you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, in many respects, I think Charlton have been the better side and the stats will reflect that, but it's one of those where neither team deserved to lose. If you can almost give QPR a point and give Charlton 3 at the same time, then I think that would probably justify it. Doesn't work like that.
Leeds have beaten Nottingham Forest 3-1 on Talksport tonight. They had 10 minutes of added time there. We've got a minute of the 8 added remaining. QPR coming forward again. Benny down the right-hand side. Kone wanted an early cross. Benny's held on to it. Right-hand edge of the penalty area, taking on Bell, whipping it in. Kone back post, cleared away by Clark on the volley. Drops down to Norrington Davis. Long way out, so he doesn't shoot. Looks for Benny, left corner of the area, delivers right-footed. Kone's flick! Just wide of goal. I think Kaminski had it covered anyway.
You think?
Well, I mean, he hopes, Kaminski, that he had it covered.
I think as well, but I'm not 100% sure. And in the last 5 minutes, QPR have just got that second wind. Again, boxing analogy, last round, just go for it. And how close have they been on 3-4 occasions to get the goal that would be the match winner?
Into the last 10 seconds of added time now. We've nearly played the full 8. QPR will probably feel if there were 5 more minutes to go, there would be enough to win this game. But in the event, we start the championship weekend with a fiercely contested London derby that ends in a goalless draw. Big chances over the course of the game for both teams. Charlton in the first half in particular. Connor Cody denied by Joe Walsh. Chambers, Dykes and Ramsey all went close in the second half for the home team, who move another point clear of the championship relegation zone. 4 clear of the drop zone now for Charlton. QPR only move a point clearer towards the playoffs, but they could have won it in a real flurry at the end. Ryan Colley denied by the save of the game, I think, from Kaminski. Richard Kone had an effort off the line and nodded just inches wide with virtually the final touch. Charlton 0, QPR 0. What did you make of it, Scott Minto?
And breathe.
What a game. What a game for a 0-0.
Do you know what? That was a fantastic 0-0. It really was. You know, the first sort of 10-15 minutes was pretty even. Charlton stepped it up, and they were definitely the better side by half-time. They started off the second half really well, but then QPR was like, no, we're not having this. We'll have a bit of a slugfest. And still then Charlton took more control of the game and had looked like they were going to go on, and there was to be that one goal that it would come from them. But in the last 5 minutes plus injury time, I think you're absolutely right, Joe. You summed it up really well. If there'd have been another 5 minutes, then maybe they would have thought they could have got that winner. But I think that would have been really harsh on Charlton, to be honest with you. But what have I learnt here tonight? I think if Charlton play like that, they won't go down. I don't think QPR have got enough to get into the top 6, but defending-wise, well, if you can't win a game, make sure you don't lose it. And that's exactly what happened there. I think, you know, goalkeeper Joe Walsh, the two centre-half, Jimmy Dunn, but especially Steve Cook was superb. Could they have nicked it towards the end? Absolutely, but I think they'll look at that game and say, look, that's a point well earned.
I don't think it's really fair to say which was the better save, but we've seen one brilliant, and actually...
But you're going to ask me, is that what you're saying?
Well, no, we've seen two really quite similar saves from both goalkeepers, and one from each, and both proved their worth tonight, didn't they, Scott? Because Walsh has been in great form, and Kaminski with a wonder save at the end to deny Collie.
Yeah, I think they were very, very similar saves, as you say. I think Kaminski's the one he had to really be a little bit braver. I think with Joe Walsh, he had to come out very quickly, but it was still about 3-4 yards. The fact that he made himself really big, Peter Schmeichel, both of them were, was a brilliant save. But Kaminski, there was a bit of bravery to it because he was even closer to Coley. So, yeah, I mean, look, both were fantastic saves, and the reason why we're saying it's a 0-0 game.
Well, the fans have filtered out here at the Valley. Charlton next in action on Wednesday night against Stoke here. Charlton, that'll be their game in hand. They are 4 points clear of the relegation zone for now. QPR next in action on the 14th of February. So the Saturday after next one against Blackburn at Loftus Road. QPR 3 points adrift of the Championship playoff places. Scott Minto, thank you for your company as ever.
Pleasure, Joe.
Enjoyed it as ever. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll be on Game Day Live.
Yes.
For Wolves against Chelsea.
That's right.
From Molineux. We'll look forward to seeing you then, Scott, over on Talksport. I'll be back here on Talksport 2. Coventry against Oxford at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Before that, Derby against Ipswich. We'll see you then. As for now, though, it's finished here at the Valley. Charlton 0, QPR 0.